Hi, everyone. I'm Chris.
And this is Milton with the Sports Truth.
The truth will set you free.
All right. This week we have a guest featured, which is Matt Guiccione. He's back.
Yay.
Yeah, man, finally. It feels like it's been forever.
It has been forever.
It's been way too long.
Okay.
He's on the phone, though, guys. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, he's on the phone, so if it sounds a little different, that's what's going on. All right.
And we need to be more quiet, too, because the mic's louder.
We're going to start with some hot topics, and then we're going to move into the power rankings, and then we're not doing the 5 random questions. We do that for Friday. All right, so before we move on to that amazing Thursday night football game and some baseball, let's really talk about the elephant in the room,
You're the jinx, Milton.
I know, we're not
Say
talking
it,
about
Matt.
that jinx, no. We're going to...
Oh, wait. Yeah. I cannot start this. Listen, I know I've been away for a while.
Uh-huh.
However, no sooner do I have to take a little hiatus, and Milton's jinx goes into full effect and takes the Padres for the best record in baseball, and they crash and burn all the way down to 3 games below 500, fire their coach.
They needed to fire the coach. They need to bring Bochy in. Dude, first of all, you have the Dodgers and the Giants who both won 100 games. And second of all, you can't jinx a jinx. Anyways, so let's talk.
The elephant in the room.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is Gruden. I mean, that's all they've been talking
Bye,
about.
Gruden.
Yeah. It was funny because last week, Chris told me about the email that had happened.
Yep, I told you.
Yeah. And, I just ignored it, which was to my demise because I ended up losing the bet on that one.
I warned you.
Yeah, but we'll talk about betting later. So, I want to hear you guys' take on the whole Gruden thing.
You first, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a couple things on that. First
Okay.
of all, with this whole Gruden situation, notice how this happened before he was hired by the Raiders?
Yeah.
Don't they have a vetting process in place? And I'm sure that, you can see that this is going to much higher levels. So there's like a massive, I'm going to say it. It's a massive cover-up. Like, really. Because I know that the one guy that is the host of Around the Horn,
Tony Reale?
he brought up a very interesting point this morning about, like, when they did that whole investigation on the Washington football team,
Uh-huh.
they basically said all the findings are sealed because of how far it reaches. So if we're just now getting this stuff leaked out about Gruden, what's around the corner if we finally, they're demanding that everything that they found out about the Washington football team, has a lot of similar situations with, Dan Snyder or whoever.
Yeah.
So, and then also, like, the way I saw the whole Gruden situation is this kind of goes all the way up to Roger Goodell.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're on the right track. Keep going.
And on the flip side, are we just getting and I mean no disrespect to anybody.
Right.
But are we getting to a point in society where we're a little hypersensitive to everything? Aren't people, like, when those things happen, obviously as generations go, my grandfather, to my parents, to myself, to my kids, there's a lot of different philosophies. People have been more educated as generations move on.
Yep.
Right.
So the things that used to be, I'm not going to say allowed. but they were
Tolerated.
Tolerated.
Yeah, tolerance, right.
People, as they get educated, they elevate themselves.
Right.
So who's to say that, okay, so Gruden makes these statements that absolutely they're, offensive to women, they're offensive to minorities,
Yeah.
they're offensive to the LGBTQ
Right.
community, but that was a while ago. So, isn't he allowed to, as he gets more educated, that, that was not right.
Right. And you know what? I would say the same thing. And I was like, that's 2010. A lot of things have changed since then. I'm not, justifying or by any ways saying that any of that is
100%.
right. But the thing that I heard earlier was that those emails go all the way up to 2018 when he was hired. So I mean, this is as long as 3
No,
years.
for sure. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I get that. I'm just using it as an example because you see today that a lot of things are under attack now.
Right. It's a country divided for sure.
100%. Like in our school, like now all of a sudden, God forbid, like the elementary schools can't have Thomas Jefferson or Abraham Lincoln or George Washington because they happen to have slaves on their plantation 300 years ago.
Right. You know, I'm reading a book on Washington.
Now all of a sudden we can't read certain books or we can't do this or we have to erase history. I mean, the history is what the history is.
Right.
We just have to learn from it and not repeat it.
Yeah. I've been reading a book. It's called Washington's End. It's really interesting on George Washington, and he did own slaves because that was what they did back then. But what was cool about George Washington is that he provided like clothing and nice pay and a nice place to stay versus like some of the atrocious conditions in the South, you know. So like when they say that, you know, I mean, he just treated them a lot better than what people would think, even though of course the system,
Slavery's still bad.
Yeah, slavery's still bad. You know, like you were saying, between your grandfather and your dad and you, I mean, I just think that through every generation we learn more, you know. I mean, like my dad's sort of point of view on things, pretty harsh, you know.
Yep.
And then with me, I maybe had some of that, but then as the generations go on, you know, I've gotten to the point where it's my wife and I, and then my kids, and they see things completely different, you know. So it's hard to just go from one end to the other.
No, like, you know, I just had this conversation the other day with my friend. Her daughter, who's like a year younger than my youngest, came in the house and was like, "Yeah, Mom, you know, I'm pansexual." I'm like, "Come again?" I gotta go look that up just so I know what that is.
What is that?
Pansexual means that you're open to anything.
Oh, okay. So it's like trisexual. I'll try anything.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Basically, in my opinion, that's just a glorified term for confused.
Yeah. No doubt.
Because honestly, I just think that today's generation, there's just so much overload of information. People are confused. They don't know what's anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes there's even confusion amongst ourselves, you know, because I did the DNA 100%. I did the DNA test, right? So basically it came out to say that I was like 60% like Southern European, so mainly Spanish descent, and 30% Indian. So, and then 10% some mix of a couple different other things, you know, like Jewish and some other random stuff. So, you know, I mean, throughout my life, it was so much easier to go over to the European side, you know, and sort of like not sort of denounce that other side, you know, of me having that Indian blood. But, you know, then I've come around and learned to embrace it. So, yeah, I mean, if there's confusion among the individual, then of course there's going to be confusion, you know, among the masses.
Right, and then the other thing, and this is again, like, this is not the views of the Sports Truth. This is my own personal opinion. I just feel that in general, you know, sometimes like when somebody has a good platform or something that they you know they want to get addressed, like, you know, the gay community or whatever. Once you take it beyond your platform and make it extreme,
right,
then you just lose your voice because now it's just getting to the point of ridiculousness.
Right.
Where, like, if you want to be seen as equal as everybody else, then just be yourself.
Yeah.
And each person has their own beliefs. You don't have to, like, I'm not jamming my stuff on you. You're not jamming my stuff on me, and vice versa.
Right.
Like, for example, and I know we don't want to make this like a whole political conversation, but my son came home from school right after high school started, and in high school now, there's a predominant number of alternative lifestyles at school. way more than it ever was when we went to school.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
But there's heterosexual, gay, lesbian, binary, neutral,
Right, trans,
whatever
yeah.
that is exactly, like all kinds of transgender, all kinds of stuff. And so one of the guys is telling my son, he's like, listen, I don't have to listen to you. You're not. I'm better than you. And he's like, what's that? He's like, I have my own day.
Wow.
And so my son's like, well, I mean, he's pretty smart. My son's like, well, man, like, aren't we all human? So nobody's better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And so, I mean, I don't know. See, I'm much more passive aggressive. If somebody says something to me like that, I'd be like, well, in today's day and age where I can be a pronoun or
Yeah.
binary neutral, I could wake up and be whatever I want. So, I can say that I'm a different minority and I have an entire month, which trumps your day.
Great.
I don't know. I mean, it's just when does it stop?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But, going back to the Gruden situation,
Yeah.
Yes, it's unfortunate that all those things, happen. Absolutely. And then not condoning the situation whatsoever, but, man, everybody knows the first rule of thumb. Don't put anything in writing.
Yeah.
Ever.
Right, for sure. I know. Can you imagine, like, if they looked through all our text and stuff? I mean, everybody has skeletons in the closet, and, we would probably all lose our jobs.
And nobody, I mean, everybody's got that chat with their buddies
Yes.
that they do their fantasy leagues with, where the trash talking can get a little outrageous.
Right.
And nobody's doing it to demean anybody
Right.
or be disrespectful. It's just, having fun. But at the same time, I mean, I think that saying goes, spoken word is easily forgotten, but written lives on forever. Something
Yeah.
like that. Like that's a bad mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it probably didn't help that Gruden called Goodell a maggot, but not quite a maggot, but I mean, it rhymes with maggot.
Right, exactly.
What's that?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
100%.
I don't think you get away with calling Goodell that.
A bundle of sticks?
Yeah, exactly. A cigarette. Yeah.
Exactly. In England, exactly.
Right. The England cigarette.
Yes.
What was I going to say?
Well, he's basically said everything I was going to say.
Yeah,
so
no,
good
for
job,
sure.
Matt.
No, for sure. Because it's a tough thing to handle,
Yeah.
because whatever you say, Matt, it's not going to satisfy both sides,
Ever.
Because if you go the politically right way, then everybody else on the other side is going to be butthurt. And then if you give it a little bit of, like, reality and truth, then
The other side will be
the other
butthurt. It
side's
doesn't
going to
matter,
be
yeah.
like, it's tough. I didn't even know if I wanted to
sometimes
bring
you
it up.
just have to be the better person and agree to disagree.
Right.
Yeah.
And just be like, look, I'm going to respect you as a person. I mean, I have lots of friends. Like, I'm very close with my high school, all the guys I graduated with, and we vary all over the place on social, political, religious,
for sure.
and whatnot. But when we're all together, none of that matters. We're just the class of '91. And we
Right.
just accept each other for whatever we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well said.
yeah.
Yeah, I had one more point on Gruden, but I
I
can't.
think we beat that horse pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree.
Oh, I have one more
agree.
point on Gruden
Okay,
for you.
all right.
So the Raiders season's over.
Oh.
The nucleus is absolutely destroyed,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
The Chargers win.
Hey, I will say though, like you saw, the interim coach is Basiglia, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is what now?
He was a special teams coach for the Chargers. He's a stud.
Oh, is he?
originally came-
Okay. So
he
they.
was,
Uh-oh.
he was a special teams coach in Tampa Bay with Gruden when they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Oh.
Then he was a special teams coach with the Chargers for a while, and then he went to the Raiders. I like him. He's a good coach.
Oh, well, never mind. So the Raiders are good. Oh,
Okay.
boy.
All right. So we'll move on with our hot topics.
Yep.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
Derek Carr is still at the helm. So are they really good?
Better than when they had what's his name? The rookie before Carr. Keep forgetting his name from 2008.
Oh, Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, Jamarcus Russell.
Oh yeah, the dude that stole like $50 million.
Yeah, him.
I just want to know: is Derek Carr? Is he like sponsored by Maybelline? Because that dude wears so much eye black. he looks like one of those 80s
Well, he's trying to look like his handsome brother, David Carr. You know, that's tough to like come
That's
after
his brother?
David Carr. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You know, I mean, everyone always
It's
telling
funny, when I
David
was at
Carr how
SoFi-
cool
when
and
I was
good
at
looking he
SoFi-
was, and then you know you gotta try to be
when I
pretty
was
like
at
his brother.
SoFi for Monday Night Football.
What's that?
Because when I was at SoFi for the Raider Monday Night Football game, the NFL Films building is like literally part of SoFi.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
built right next to it.
Oh.
So when I'm walking in between the two buildings, the stadium and NFL Films or NFL Network, there's like a roof area that's like an outdoor like patio area, and David Carr was standing up there waving at everybody right because they were doing live on-air shots up on top of that roof deck.
Wow.
I had a football in my hand too. I thought about throwing it at him.
No.
just see if he would catch it and then throw it back at me.
Don't do that to David Carr.
So moving on with the hot topics, you know, we have the baseball playoffs going on.
Which you jinxed for the poor
Yeah,
Padres.
I did. Poor Padres. Whatever. You know, fire the coach.
Not whatever. Fire you.
Bring Bochy. Bring Bochy back. But anyways.
I like Bochy.
Yeah,
hey,
no,
I'll tell
for
you,
sure.
On a side note, if they bring Bochy back, the one pet peeve I've had all season is every time I go in that Padres store and they have a hat that I really like,
Yeah.
the only size available is like 8 and above. And the only person I know that can wear that is Bochy. And it's
Bochy and my friend Tony, who's a big Giants fan, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm like, just bring Bochy back just so some of that inventory will go, so they'll bring in some normal size.
Yeah. So we got the series up 2-1. The Giants beat them 4-0, and then the Dodgers came back 9-2. I thought for sure, based on the money line and based on Max Scherzer pitching, that the Giants didn't have much of a chance. And it sounded like that was sort of right. I mean, 1-0. That must have been some amazing pitching. I mean, at least that's what my friend Tony said, that it was sort of a pitching duel and a closeout. So I didn't get to watch the game. But
who's winning?
The Giants are up 2-1 in a 5-game series with the last game back in San Francisco. So it's funny, Matt, all the Padre fans at work in the break room, they're cheering for the Giants big time. They hate the Dodgers.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So it's sort of cool. It's like I get to cheer for the Giants too, and you know. So yeah, I'm hoping for that. But okay, so let's talk about the Thursday night football game. Oh my God.
Wow.
I had a terrible week in betting, even though all my friends made all kinds of money.
I warned you.
Yeah, I know, you did warn me.
Didn't listen to me
some
again.
strange...
Real quick, before we go to that betting, real quick, and this is a point I'll make about the Dodgers.
Okay.
Max Scherzer, as much as I don't like him and he talks so much trash about the Padres, since that trade deadline, though, in 58 innings pitched, he only had 5 earned runs, 71 strikeouts, 7 walks, a .78 ERA, and 7-0 record.
I know, that's why I thought they were going to win yesterday.
Yeah, but he can only pitch one time.
Oh.
Maybe twice in that series. Because it's a 5-game or 7?
5.
Yeah, see, he can only pitch once.
Yeah.
Wow. Did not know that.
Possibly bookend it, but, I mean... Then they got to fill it with everybody else.
I didn't know you had to do that for playoffs.
Well, I mean, just logistically, he can't pitch all 5 games.
Oh, makes
sense. I
mean,
get that.
He's got to let his arm, recover. So at the most, he could probably pitch game 1, and then game 4 or game 5.
Yeah.
That'd be but then you got to think about if they did advance, then you're setting him up for more fatigue moving on.
I mean, I mean, you would think that the wild card teams get drained because they have to use that pitcher, to get into that position. But then with the Red Sox, they won the series, right, against the heavily favored Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt.
Sure.
Sure.
Hold on, I gotta look.
Okay, I'm pretty sure. That's what somebody told me.
I'm in complete football mode.
Okay, no, I got it.
Me
You're right.
too.
You're right. Let's move on to football. So yeah, the Thursday
Go
night
back to
football.
your betting real quick.
What's that?
You're betting. You were talking about the
Go
betting.
back to-
Oh
go
yeah,
back
we'll
to
get
betting.
into the betting with the power rankings, but I had a bad week, so
Yeah.
I talked to my friends.
Yeah, because somebody didn't listen. To
You wanted
their
to listen to
buddy.
me or Matt?
Yeah, okay, here we go. So yeah, so I always ask Matt for his picks. On his money picks, he's 16-4 for the season, which is 80%, which is really good.
Yeah.
And he gave me 4 winners. I want to say it was the Titans, Bucks, Cowboys, Vikings, right? All of which won.
Yep.
But I looked at it, and the payout wasn't that great. You know,
Should've
I think it was
listened.
like 100 to win 160. So the lesson for this week for betting that I learned is that pairing being cheap with being greedy is a terrible combination, whether it's betting or just in life. Wouldn't you agree with that, Matt? Being cheap and greedy at the
100%.
same time? It's combustible,
100%.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then so I thought, well, you know what? I could place a $50 bet and win $230. I wouldn't lose that much. I got greedy, and that's when I started. They gave me that much, the possibility of that much money, because I was taking teams like the Raiders, which I never should have. I don't know. I was talking to one of my buddies, and we had a couple drinks, and he said the Cowboys, the Chargers, and the Raiders, you know, and I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
No.
So yeah, I drifted on that one. So anyways, my friend said, I told my friend.
Key word is had a couple drinks.
Yeah,
Yeah, had a couple drinks. You were
exactly.
drunk.
Had a couple
Yeah.
drinks. So I told my friend, and I don't know, I was so like distraught the whole day on it that I'm pretty sure I know my football, you know, but knowing football and knowing betting are two different things. So I'm having my friends sort of put the training wheels on me and walk me through the betting. So what happened this week is they said 3, 4, 5 games, that's too much. Take 2 games that you really like, tease them, put a good amount of money on it, and go from there, you know? Basically walk before you run. So I was like, okay, perfect. Let's start off this week with the Ravens for the win and the Bucks for the win. That sounds pretty safe. And so I told my buddies at Costco, this guy I always talk football with, hey, I'm going to take the... he's like, who you got tonight? And I'm like, I got the Ravens and I got the Bucks. So I try... Usually I'm on my... Usually trying to figure out Siri, like, what the score is. But I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to just be at work, do my thing. So I come back to him and I'm dropping off boxes for Costco in the front end. And they start laughing, you know? And... it was almost like when you're in high school and everybody else around you knows something about you, but you don't know what they're laughing about. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like for...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they're like, dude, it's 22-3. And my face just like got pale and I just started like thinking, I just started going down that rabbit hole. So I go in there, it's like 25-17. And they're getting ready to kick a field goal, and then Calais Campbell, all 6'8" of them, blocks it. And then Lamar Jackson takes him down the field. Then he gets the 2-point conversion. And then at that point, my break's over, and I had to go back to work. But then we got the coin toss, and then we went down the field, and we scored a touchdown. So, yeah. But, yeah, you know what? I'm having major respect for Lamar Jackson, someone I've criticized in the past, because I was like, it's great you could run, but, you know, as a quarterback, you sort of need to know how to pass. He had 442 yards, 4 touchdowns, I think a record completion of like 86%. I mean, you got to start mentioning him in the MVP talk. I mean, not at the top where Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen are up there, but like, I don't know. What's been your take on Lamar Jackson? Matt? Did we lose Matt?
Well, hey, no, I'm here.
Okay.
So, Lamar Jackson, and before we get into Lamar Jackson, you just reminded me of that scene in Waiting.
In what now?
When that scene from the movie Waiting
Waiting? Okay, I'm not familiar with that one.
with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
And so the scene where they're all going at it, right? All the, you know, because they work at at a Bennigan's, but it's called Shenanigans. And they
Oh,
just do
okay.
the
I like
baseball
that. Bennigan's, but it's called Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so they they have this whole subculture. It's basically about the whole subculture of working at like a short order cook restaurant. And the one waitress is going at Ryan Reynolds' character says, "You just reminded me of exactly what she said." But she's all, you know that weird paranoid feeling you get when you hear people laughing? You think they're laughing at you when they're really not. Well, in your case, they really are.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. They just were busting up laughing because I had told them about my betting tragedy, which I'll get into in the power rankings, where I just lost, and I was like, well, this is a new week and we're gonna start off right, and I'm gonna take these two teams. So like, man, even when you win in betting, they drag you through the mud. Like a couple weeks ago or last week when I took the Bucks against the Patriots, even though Chris told me I got a bad gut feeling on this, don't do it, there's always crazy stuff that happens. We call them the Sunday night scaries. Just weird shit happens, So, I'm glad I made it through, because if I hadn't, in fact, I told that guy at the cash register when he came back and we were ready to merchandise and do the last part of the night, I'm like, don't worry, dude, you don't have to call an ambulance. We're good, because I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna lose my mind. I lose my mind when I lose, and then I lose my mind even when I'm winning. It's a crazy addiction, betting, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. But it's fun, dude. I mean, when you win, the juices go. My wife gets a little bit of that. Gets all the money, because I could care less about the money. I want to be right and get the juice that you get from gambling,
Oh, no, 100%. Like we were on the football field last
Or
Friday,
fantasy football for
at
you.
our game against El Cajon Valley,
Uh-huh.
and my defensive coordinator was sitting there, and he's like, we're up big, and something happened. I'm like, what? He's like, oh shit! Like he's looking. I thought he was looking at the scores, and he's like, starts freaking out. I'm like, what? I'm El Cap losing? He goes, no, my wife just texted me and said she won $15,000 at bingo.
Holy shit!
Oh, come on! That's not fair.
Damn!
Share some of the juice.
God.
Right,
dude, why doesn't that happen to me and my family? That's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
So, to answer the question, Lamar Jackson. So, funny thing about Lamar Jackson, when he came out of college, like he was like in that, I think at the time in the draft there was like 5 quarterbacks that were being looked at as potential first round picks, and there were some teams that were like demanding that Lamar come in and try out at running back.
Oh, right. The whole, you're not a quarterback, yeah.
And so I think that he's always had a chip on his shoulder to prove that, hey, man, I am a quarterback. And, other people try to say, look at his wonder lick, and just, he's not the most intelligent guy.
No, he's
not.
not.
Down the offense, and so on and so forth. And then, even as, his first year, he did okay. Second year, obviously, he had the MVP year. But when they gave him the contract, they're still like, I think this guy, they're going to ride this dude into the ground for, like, his 5-year, his rookie contract. And then, who knows what happens beyond them, because how much can a guy that just runs that much last in the NFL?
Right. So he has no choice if he wants to survive to become a pocket passer when he needs to, even though running is.
But as you see that he's every year he takes a little bit step.
Yeah, for sure. That. I mean, this is an offense that average.
Granted, like this year with Baltimore losing like every single running back they possibly have, and yes, they still have a running game because his is so deadly.
Yeah, I had pretty much written him off. I'm like, if you don't have a backfield and your run game is your bread and butter. But I mean, they averaged dead last in passing. I want to say it was 179 yards. So for him to come up with a 442 yards and 4 passing touchdowns, I mean,
exactly. And even more so, it was 22-3 going into the fourth quarter.
So to come back down 18 points, let's give him.
He just explodes in that. Yeah, because even though I have him in one of my 7 fantasy football leagues.
7?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's called addiction.
You have a problem.
In one of my leagues, I was going against Mark Andrews.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
Brown,
every time
and Tucker, and I'm like, and it just so happened that because I was going to SoFi and taking my son and my buddy and his kids, it was all chaotic getting to LA and whatnot. I didn't get a chance. There was too much going on. I didn't get a chance to look at my 7 leagues to check who was in, who was out.
Yeah.
So on that league, I had left Delvin Cook in my lineup and not switched to Madison, which cost me 29 points.
Okay, so
But
who
because
didn't you put in?
And all those guys had,
Who didn't you put in?
I did put in Delvin Cook's backup, Madison.
Oh, okay.
Who ended the day with like 29 points.
Oh, wow. But you didn't put
So
him in.
even though I had a big fat 0 I was looking at,
Yeah.
because some of my other guys exploded, I was originally I was expected to lose. Then I was up so big, I was like, man, I might pull this off with one guy not even playing.
But you didn't.
It so happens that because those guys had that, I was good all the way up into that fourth quarter. And then when those Andrews had 2 touchdowns, Brown had a touchdown, Tucker's hitting extra points and field goals.
Right.
I ended up losing, but I did the math real quick, and even if I had that dude in, I still would have lost by 5 points.
Okay, so that makes you feel a little bit better.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
But, so Lamar Jackson, he just keeps proving everybody wrong. And I was very intent on this game because the Chargers play them next week in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it was important for them to win. Had they lost, then they would see the Chargers as a must-win, and it would put more pressure on the game. They won. They're relaxed. It's perfect. We were cheering for the Ravens to win, correct?
Yeah, they just really, for the Chargers, they really just need to focus on containing and completely shutting down Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
That's got to be the goal. You just got to contain him, force him to be a pocket passer. Kind of like they did a few years ago in the playoffs. They just completely took the run game away and his running ability away.
Oh, when they did 7 DBs. But that's Lamar Jackson as a rookie versus now. He's got an MVP.
But you have to do a similar...
I agree.
I'm pretty confident that Staley is going to... he's going to definitely try and, eliminate... He just take Lamar Jackson as much as he can out of the equation.
Yeah, so far, he's
force him to have to beat you by the pass.
Yeah.
Don't let him get outside contain and then run crazy.
For sure. But I guess on my point, what I'm trying to say is that my opinion of Lamar Jackson has been changing. I think a big one was him beating the Chiefs. He finally beat Patrick Mahomes. Which at this point I'm like, I don't know, everyone's beating Patrick Mahomes.
One of my 4 losses was Baltimore losing to the Raiders, which should have never happened.
Oh, yeah. No, it's true. And your other one was, I think, the Bills-Steelers, which nobody saw coming. Two of your losses I saw potentially happening because the Titans didn't have wide receivers and the Saints have this feast or famine. And that's what they've done. They've blowout, bad loss, blowout, bad loss, and then a nice win against the Washington football team.
I still don't understand how the Titans lose, even without receivers, to the Jets. Just give it to Henry 100 carries. I don't care.
No, I know. I would feed it to him every
Jets
time
defense.
too.
The young defense did it.
Yeah.
I said so many times.
All right.
Hey,
All right.
props to the Jets for stepping up and knowing what was coming and shutting it down.
For sure.
And I am disappointed at the Saints at home. And I know that Jameis Winston is a complete feast or famine quarterback.
Exactly.
But my God, when you have Alvin Kamara, really,
I know. Well, that's what they did. They focused on the Washington game and they centered it around Alvin Kamara.
But, they lost to Daniel Jones and the Giants. Come on.
I know. That's pathetic. I just didn't like the combination of the Saints, feast or famine, and then the Giants, who have this reputation for covering point spreads, who are one of the teams that defeated an 18-0 team that could have been the first perfect season, with the Patriots, and then they did it again a couple years later. So, yeah.
Right.
Sometimes logic is this team should beat this team, but then like with Chris, he relies on
sometimes
his
you
gut
just gotta go
feeling.
completely with your gut. I mean, listen, being a Chargers fan for so long, for years,
Mm-hmm.
the AFC West, especially when you're talking like Raiders Chargers,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if the Chargers are 14-2,
True.
if the Raiders are 2-14, or vice versa. When they play, all bets are off.
Yeah, and I think we saw that in the example of the division game with the Cardinals and 49ers, which Chris said, I got a bad feeling on this one. And I'm like, dude, come on. Don't give me hope when there is no hope.
Yes, there was.
And yeah, we'll talk about it
Okay.
because I watched the highlights on that game, and it was a lot closer. There was about 3 or 4 plays that were fourth down plays or goal line plays that had the Niners made. We'd be talking about the Niners
I would
upsetting
say
the
it's a
Cardinals.
win. I mean, look, they contain Kyler Murray pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, 17 points when he's averaging 35 or more points.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
So, going to, you want me to jump to the Chargers for a minute?
Not yet, because
Okay.
we're gonna let's jump into the power rankings. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right,
Cellar dwellers?
Okay, so yeah, this is how the power rankings work. 1 through 10. 1 through 10 is top 10, right?
Yeah.
And the top 5 are in the VIP
VIP
room.
room.
11 through 14, that's still playoff mode.
Yeah.
And 23 through 32 is considered cellar dweller. Okay?
And Purgatory's in the middle.
And Purgatory's in the middle. So this was really interesting, especially for betting reasons, because it's always about betting. Just
yeah,
kidding.
always.
All right.
What?
All right. So if I had looked at my power rankings and bet on all top 8 teams,
Yeah.
I would have won huge because all the top. This is for last week. Let
Yeah.
me see who they were. Let me get to.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
here it is.
Matt.
Okay, so last week's power rankings. All these teams. Okay, Cardinals, Bills, Bucks, Packers, Chargers, Cowboys, Rams, Ravens. All 8 of those teams, which we had in our power rankings, all won.
The Elite Eight, yeah.
Yeah, the lead 8. Okay, what's interesting is right after that, from 9 to 16, they all lost.
Maybe we have something going here, right?
Yeah,
Matt?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we did pretty good that we were able to put 8 of the top 10 teams. And then the other 2 teams that lost were the Browns, which was to
Well,
the
yeah,
Chargers, a really
of
close
course.
one, and then the Chiefs getting blown out by the Bills.
Yep.
But anyways, that's what I wanted to touch on. So now you know where we're going. We're going to start from the bottom because start with the garbage games.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, who do you think's going to be 32nd? Come on, Matt.
It's not too hard.
30 seconds?
Yeah, guess.
30 seconds. Wow, I don't know. The Jaguars or the Lions?
Okay, Jaguars or Lions. Let's,
All
see,
right,
let's
yeah.
see if he's right.
All right. Yes, it is the Jaguars.
Congrats.
And you know what? I think that they had a possibility of being in the game or maybe even beating the Titans because you saw an improvement when they played the Cardinals.
Yep.
And then you saw them when they had like a 14-0 lead, should have been 21-0 lead.
To the Bengals, yeah.
To the Bengals. And what made me think that the Titans were going to win sort of last minute was that Urban Meyer and his lap dancing at his strip club, restaurant, whatever it was called, you know, and the fingers in the booty butt and all that. I mean, there's no way. I mean, that distraction was almost the same distraction as Gruden and the emails, you know?
Yep.
I mean, I can't believe that I just, like,
Raiders lost.
yeah, that I didn't factor that in, you know? And another one's like COVID, too. You get COVID, you usually lose, but the Patriots were able to overcome that. So, yeah, the Jags, there's not much to say about them. I mean, Urban Meyer, every once in a while, he'll do a fist pump in the air when they score a touchdown, but he's miserable. He's apologizing to the fans. The owner said that Urban Meyer needs to regain the trust and, what is it?
Yeah, to regain the trust of his wife.
Yes, regain
Oh,
the
man. I missed you,
trust.
Matt.
I know.
I missed you, buddy.
I know, it's true. So it's a mess there. They're going to keep
No
losing.
road trips for you.
What's that?
No road trips for you.
Yeah, no road trip at all.
And the fact that he would be like, I'm going to stay in Ohio and not go back with my team after a tough loss that they should have won, you know? I mean, he should have been on that plane and been like, guys, we're really close here, you know? I should have...
Absolutely.
I should have.
And then to throw his grandkids under the bus, I'm staying back to see my grandkids.
Oh,
With air
God.
quotes.
I mean, he's throwing everybody under the bus because they interviewed him and said, you were on the 1 yard line. And the Titans Jags game was a lot closer than people think. They see the final score.
Yeah.
But through the third quarter, if the Jags score a touchdown, they're right with them. And then it goes back and forth. And then we're talking about on Tuesday, how did the Jags beat the Titans,
Yeah.
But he had, what's his name? Trevor Lawrence in shotgun formation instead of underneath. How big would you say is Trevor Lawrence, Matt?
I can look it up real quick.
No, okay. I'll let you know. He's 6'5", like 230,
Okay,
something like that. He's a
so
big.
He's Herbert's size.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds
He's
big.
like he's like a Herbert size, right? And they asked him, well, why didn't you run a quarterback sneak underneath center, right, to score the touchdown? And he says, right now, Trevor Lawrence isn't very comfortable with running that play. And then they asked Trevor Lawrence, and he's like, I'm cool with running that play. So, like, he was trying to put his loss, the strip dancing, his wife, I mean, his
On
sickness,
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
everything on somebody else. And on this case, it was Trevor Lawrence. So what do you think of my boy Urban Meyer saying that he wasn't ready for the quarterback sneak because we hadn't practiced that?
Oh, hold on. I'm sure you guys covered this on the previous episode,
Uh-huh.
but okay, let's just go to that picture of Urban Meyer with that girl sitting on his hand.
Uh-huh.
Does
Yeah.
that look like the most awkward? Like, I don't even know what that was.
You know what? It's Urban Meyer being out of the game for so long. He's been married. He's got grandkids, so he doesn't quite. It'd be
Yeah,
like
I mean,
tossing
like,
me
he was
into.
he-
Go ahead.
No, you're right. He lost his game.
Yeah, and I mean in
Like,
football
seriously,
and with
like,
ladies, I mean it's just
I mean, listen, like his use of his hands, like is reminiscent of Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights when he's doing interviews, but they keep like I don't even know what he was doing with his hands.
Yeah, they're in a bad
Seriously,
spot.
that just looked-
Keep betting against
that
the
just looked
Jags.
So awkward.
So awkward.
They've
yeah.
lost 20 straight. I think they're going to probably lose like 24, 25. I think at one point they play somebody like themselves where they have a chance. But this is a team that they've lost double digits, have double-digit losses like the last, I want to say, 9 out of 10 years. They had that one year where they went to the AFC Championship, but the Jags are just bad. Urban Meyer thought, hey, if I get the top pick in the draft, Trevor Lawrence, he's a generational player, and then my understanding of the game, but it's a complete mess. Bigger mess than I ever anticipated. Anyways,
Listen,
we'll
bring
move
back
on because we
Mark
don't talk about
Brunell,
losers
okay?
much. Only
Yes, Matt, say it again.
only what?
Bring back Mark Brunell.
That's actually a good one. I like
Yeah,
that.
I'm going to have to say this now, Matt. Forgive Milton. He can't hear very well. He talks over you. He's very rude. I'm sorry.
Sorry. All right, so we don't want to talk too much about losers.
Hey, listen, going back to our original conversation of the whole Gruden thing, that's just my culture and Milton's culture clashing. That's just how our families operate.
Yeah. No, it's so true. I mean, it's interesting living in the Hispanic world because on one side you have the whites and on the other side you have the blacks, and I don't know. There's just something about being able to.
What makes you so special? I'm in the Asian world.
No, I'm just saying that I don't know. I mean.
I'm joking. I
Yeah.
understand. You just look at both of them like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, no, because all the time I get white people thinking I'm Mexican, and then the Mexicans are thinking I'm white, sort of, and so it's just really
So
interesting.
you're caught in the middle.
I'm caught in the middle.
Like Dio. Caught in the middle.
All right, next on the list is the Jets,
Jets, Jets.
who I actually picked against the Falcons because I thought not having Calvin Ridley and Justin Gage over there.
You lose.
But just a
Oh,
young.
man, come on. That's why I switched my lineup. I had to take Calvin Ridley out of my lineup because he's a jackass. And I had to make sure I reinserted Kyle Pitts into my lineup.
Okay. So how do you feel about having two loser teams represent the whole NFL?
Oh yeah, with the Jets and Falcons to London.
What do you
Oh,
think,
yeah, that was
Matt?
pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it is embarrassing.
And I know, hold on, who plays this weekend?
Oh,
They're
it's
again.
Miami and the Jags. That's the London game.
Oh, it's just back-to-back duds.
Yeah.
Another London game? What the hell? This is
Yeah.
crap.
So not
Thank
much.
God it's
Not
at
not much to
6:30 in
say
the
on the
morning.
Jets. They had their big upset 2 weeks ago when they played the Titans, and yeah, they're a mess too. All right. There on some teams there's more to talk about than other teams, so we'll move on to the next team. This next team, man, I feel bad for them, and I just keep changing my perspective on this team. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. It's the Lions at number 30th. Okay, they had a heartbreaker. They were losing most of the game, but they jumped back in it and they recovered a fumble. And then I got to give it up for Dan Campbell, as crazy as he is with his biting kneecaps and drinking, triple espresso venti coffees. But, I mean, I had some respect for him that, he was crying and he wanted his team to win. And he went for the 2-point conversion. I mean, how many coaches are like, let's go for it. Let's go for the win. And then, of course, the Vikings march.
Staley.
Huh? Oh, we'll get to Staley in the fourth.
Staley
Yeah.
does.
Oh, yeah. He's in a whole other atmosphere.
Staley is his own thing.
Yeah,
We'll get to
I've
him.
never. Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen him.
When we get to, we'll talk
Hey,
about
hold on.
that.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute.
A hot minute.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, I think one thing I was gonna do. Okay, ready, Matt? Give me the scores, okay? Chargers play Jags.
Chargers play the Jaguars?
Yeah. What's the score?
Oh, my God. 78-0?
What's that?
Can we have an Alabama score here? Like
Yeah, 70-0.
70-0. Okay. The Jets.
Oh, same.
I know. It's true. The Chargers would wipe with most of these
Wipe
teams.
the floor. Yeah.
Wipe the floor. Thank you. So the Lions, I mean, they had a 66-yard doink that beat them, and then they had another long field goal. It was like a 54 or 57-yard field goal. So they don't have talent, but man, they got heart. I mean,
Heart of a Lion.
No,
heart of a lion,
okay,
yeah.
Like, I'm going to sum up the Detroit. Did you see that run by Swift?
Yeah, that was nice. That's one of the better runs I've seen all season.
Absolutely, where he lowered his shoulder and he knocked the defender on the ground.
Woo!
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
That's a great hit. Go back and watch that.
No, I remember when I saw it, I was impressed by it. I was like, damn, that's one of the highlights of the week for sure.
Poor
It's
Lions.
funny because since I watch Good Morning Football so much, when I'm watching the games and I see stuff like that, I'm like, that'll be on Angry Runs on Tuesday.
Did you say you're watching Good Morning Football and you're not watching Stephen A. Smith? What?
I refuse to watch Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, they were just pretty much just talking about the whole Gruden thing.
And Cowboys.
And the Cowboys, yeah. They're just
Of course. I mean, I still had the TV on ESPN when I got up this morning, and as soon as I turned on, all I saw was his big head.
Gruden? Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Stephen A.
Stephen A.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't find the controller fast enough.
All right, the next team at number 29 are the Texans. They actually jumped on top of the Patriots. I wanted to stay away from this game because the Patriots had 4 offensive linemen on COVID, and most of the time, if you have COVID, I don't care who it is on your team, you're gonna lose that game, or you're not covering the point spread.
You forgot Emperor Belichick.
Yeah. I guess the rules don't apply to him. Yeah, no. Davis Mills actually had a good game. He had 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns, and but yeah, they're the Texans. They're not going anywhere.
Without Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, even with him, it'd be limited, but at least they would have a shot in every game.
A few wins.
Yeah. All right, number 28, the New York Giants.
Saquon.
That game was 10-10, and it would have been a lot closer if players didn't start getting injured. I mean, you see that play with Saquon Barkley, and like he hurts his ankle, and then he goes over to the other Cowboy guy, and then twists his ankle or something on him, and they showed his foot.
Yeah, on his own guy.
Oh.
And they showed
Giants.
his ankle. It was huge, dude. I mean, it was like
swelling. Yeah.
It was swelling.
Okay.
It looked more like a calf than an ankle.
Yeah, Matt.
So that makes me even more frustrated because in my one league.
Of course. This is what it is. For Matt, it's going to come to fantasy football.
Okay.
For me,
it's
everything
betting.
comes down to betting. Yes. Just Just
For
to
me,
make the
it's
listener-
gut feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
So in one of my leagues that I did, they want, we're going back and forth. When are we going to do this draft? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, they want to do it on a Friday. I said, listen, Friday Night Lights, man, I am coaching not one, but 2 high school football games.
Oh, they gave you Saquon Barkley?
No. This is horribly wrong.
Okay.
So we finally decided on, hey, we're going to do the draft at 10 o'clock at night. So
Wow,
it
that's
just so
late.
happened we're on the road at Olympian, which for those of you that don't know, that's way down past Eastlake.
Yeah, it's South
off
Bay.
the toll road.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way down South Bay. So for whatever reason, the third quarter is like an hour long.
Oh,
I don't even know how that's possible. And I'm looking at my watch going, dude, we got to get out of here. And now, granted, the bus had already said, hey, listen, I'm leaving at 9:30 no matter what. 9:30, you guys have to be on the bus for the, period. That's the deal. And this game is dragging. I'm like, dude, we're not going to make it. So we get it done in time, just literally a few minutes before 9:30, win the game. Everybody's trying to rush to get the bus. I'm grab my daughter, hop in the car, getting ready to do 100 miles an hour to the house so I can do the draft at 10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
We get on the toll road. I just opened up ESPN just to look to see, if it put the order.
Yeah.
And we're already in the second round.
Oh, man. Who'd they give you?
Somebody decided that they didn't want to do 2 drafts simultaneously without approving it with everybody, and decided to start the draft at 9:30 instead of 10.
Oh, wow.
So it auto-drafted my first 2 picks.
Okay.
Who?
My first pick was Saquon Barkley.
Oh, shit. Which you would never take, because he's an injury waiting to
Yeah.
happen.
There's no way, never in a million years.
Yeah.
Then my second pick that they gave me was Nick Chubb, which I was fine with Nick Chubb.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a good
for
one.
sure.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, are you kidding me right now?
I mean, it almost would have been better if they gave you Nick Chubb in the first round and
Yeah.
then gave you whoever else in the second round.
100%, but still, I was like, really? Oh, this is
Oh,
ridiculous.
9:30.
my God. Okay. So as you're seeing Saquon Barkley
Go down.
with one ankle, and then
That
he
being said-
jumps on
that
somebody
being
else's
said-
ankle.
That being said, in that league, because I quickly flipped the script and I had to go to work and be the master GM, I was able to salvage that draft, and I'm sitting 4-1 in that league.
Okay, that's not bad
Oh,
considering your first round pick, where you got to get your running back, number 1 running back, who's gonna score you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a huge deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
man. I would at the pick I was, because I remember, I think I was the last pick in the draft.
yeah.
I would have taken Devonta Adams.
Oh, hell yeah, the best wide receiver in football.
Absolutely.
For what is it? Future Charger, Devontae Adams.
Yes, sir.
Dude, the magic that would happen between Herbert and Devontae Adams. Oh my God.
Oh, when I seen that, I almost launched my phone out the window, and I'm like, dude, I'll never
Yeah.
get back on the toll road.
That's funny.
Uh,
Okay, so getting back, Giants at 28 with the whole Saquon Barkley thing.
Yeah.
So Saquon Barkley goes out in the first quarter, and then
Yeah, it's over.
as Daniel Jones is trying to get into the end zone, they knock the fuck out of him, and he gets up, and then he's just wobbling.
yeah,
he's-
concussion.
Yeah, concussion
for sure.
protocol, and then Galladay was out. So your number 1
It's
quarterback, number 1 running back, number 1 wide receiver. So
Giants
for
are
those
done.
of you out there betting, take the Rams. Okay, the Rams off
And
of
I
10
have,
days rest.
on the side note, I have Galladay on a couple of my teams. That's even more frustrating.
Yeah, he's out for, I want to say, a couple weeks
Oh,
or something
no.
like that. Yeah. So, yeah, the Giants, they had their nice win last week, and everything pointed towards the Cowboys killing them.
Yeah.
They were, Dak was 7-0 against them. 6 out of 8 they covered against the spread. It was just, it was the only lock of the week that everyone could agree on.
Yeah,
I
Cowboys.
mean, other games or teams we weren't sure of, but that was for sure. Okay, next are the Dolphins at number 27 in the cellar.
In the cellar. It's been
Yeah.
55 minutes, by the way. We spent way too long.
I know.
We need to hurry.
On the Gruden thing?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Just in general.
No, okay, yeah. All right.
We don't have to. We can always just bang through them.
Yeah, we'll bang through them. Yeah. I mean, like I said, some have more to talk about than others.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dolphins. Oh, yeah, they got beat up by the Bucks.
Of course,
So,
I called it.
Yeah.
I said
Of
Bucks.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah, all I have to
they're a
say about
mess.
the
I
Dolphins-
mean, even when Tua comes back, and the Dolphins are always going to have to remember that Justin Herbert was up there, and
Yeah.
they didn't take him.
Yeah,
All right.
Matt.
All I have to say is, man, that'd be my saying right there. Trust in Tua.
I know. I'm surprised the Chargers didn't get
careful
Tua with their luck, but
Be careful.
we got a
what
different
you
kind of
wish
luck
for.
now. All right, next one are the Colts. They're way down in the cellar. They're 1-4. You know, they are what their record says they are. They scared me half to death yesterday, and Carson Wentz looked pretty good at times. But you know, yeah, the AFC South is going to go to the Titans, and then the Colts are whatever. Yeah. All right, number 25. I still have them in the cellar. I don't care that they beat the weak ass Broncos last week. You know, they needed to win, and they won. Anything on the Steelers, Matt?
No, I don't know. Like for me, it's a toss-up between the Steelers and the Washington football team.
As far as what?
Who wins? Probably.
Who's worse?
Oh, it's funny that you
I
say
agree.
that because the next, or actually, I skipped one. The Falcons were number 25.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, they went to
Yeah.
London. They beat up on the Jets.
Good for you. No one cares.
Yeah, I mean,
next
we
one.
did see
Yeah, exactly. They've been underwhelming all year.
Yeah.
we
The
did see what's his
Steelers,
name
I mean,
blow up
they're
though.
gonna-
Kyle Pitts.
The Steelers won that game. Thank God for Najee Harris.
Yep.
But I mean, they can only go so far on Big Ben, who's just on borrowed time at this point.
Yeah, for
Bye,
sure.
Ben.
For
Bye,
sure.
Ben.
But yeah, the Kyle Pitts looked amazing. Did you watch highlights of it?
He finally gets his first touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. And then it's funny that Matt says that, oh, Steelers, Washington, about the same because my
guess.
next team
It's Washington.
the last cellar dweller is Washington.
Yikes.
Yeah, but the only thing they have going for them is Heineke.
Yep. Against bad and middling teams.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And who did they played? They played the Saints, which are like slightly above middling because depending on which week you catch them.
Yeah,
But they
that's why I
caught them
didn't
on the
beat 'em.
feast, not the famine one.
So they got wrecked.
All right. So now we're out of the cellar.
So we're finally out of the dark cellar. Matt, you know where we are, Matt? We're finally on the first floor
Yeah. Yeah.
with couch.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Out of the cellar.
Number 22, the Vikings. Okay. I mean, I had them in the cellar, then I took them out of the cellar. I want them to be like right next to the cellar. Okay.
They're right next to the cellar door.
Yeah, they're right next to the cellar door because they have like a tent pitched out. They're not even. Yeah, because they barely beat the talentless Lions.
Yeah, barely.
They got heart. I mean, they probably got more heart than anybody other team in the NFL. You know, or at least
The Lions, yeah.
Yeah, the Lions do.
I know. All I can say for the Vikings fans, feed my man Justin Jefferson already. Come on.
Oh
Start
yeah,
getting
exactly.
for
He was
sure.
rookie of the year last year as a wide receiver. Yeah, and you know what? The Vikings always, with Kirk Cousins, always blow out the Lions. So I don't know what was going on. They had been held to 7 points by the Browns defense, and then they only scored 19 points. So, anyways, they're not going anywhere. And to think that they were in the like top 10 for power rankings, like
you,
too.
Didn't you have them top 10
no,
before?
dude, no, I had them like in the middle
The
somewhere.
first one.
I didn't buy into them.
A lot of people thought that that's the best roster that coach has had in ever.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem with the Vikings. I think Zimmer,
On
it's his
paper.
time to go.
Yeah.
He did his thing, and then they just need to bring
Man.
somebody else. Defensive coordinators are always limited.
Staley,
Unless you're
Staley would
Staley.
like to know your freaking location, Milton.
Yeah, you know what? Staley is like
His
both.
own thing, yeah.
He's both.
Anyway, we'll get to
yeah,
him.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, number 21. These guys took a tumble. Okay.
Who?
These guys. I want to say that they were in the playoff area.
Let's see if Matt guesses who it is.
Okay, so they were in the playoff area, and then they tumbled to 21. You want to take a guess, Matt?
Seahawks?
No, that's close. It's the Raiders.
Oh, my poor Raiders.
They're done, dude. I mean,
They're donezo.
They are. I mean, I know you were
Done dotted.
you were speaking some nice things about the interim coach, but yeah,
We'll have to see.
the season just sort of unraveled. I mean, you need the nucleus to be able to rise to the top, and the nucleus blew up with Gruden and some of the things he said. He should have realized we're in the social media, you know, things live on forever, you know?
Yeah.
You want to say something, say it between friends, you know? But,
Hey, listen. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
yeah.
Okay, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay.
Who's
so
next?
right above the Raiders, who would you have? That's like pretty much in the same situation.
Seahawks.
No, Broncos.
Oh,
Yeah.
The AFC West kind of unraveled.
Yeah. Just the top half stayed. It's top heavy, and then we thought the AFC West was like, I don't know, because even the NFC West right now, the bottom half is sort of falling. You know.
Yeah.
It's hard for all four teams to be good, especially when you play each other.
Yeah, Matt.
Your Broncos. I'm sure you're glad the Broncos and Raiders are sucking ass right now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, Charger fan.
Yeah. What is that? That's like 3 wins right there, right? Because they already played the Raiders once.
Not
So
as much as I'm loving what's happening with the Chiefs. I think I like that the most.
Yeah, you don't like Raiders if you're a Charger fan. Yeah.
All right, at number
Or
19,
Broncos.
and this ranking is just based on the quarterback that they have, Jalen Hurts, dude. I mean, he is a wild X factor. It would be nice for him to have more talent around him and a better team, but
It'd be nice to have a signature win.
Yeah,
With just himself.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I mean, he was down 15-3 against the Panthers, who I had the Panthers winning that game.
Yeah.
And he came back all the way to the end, and I think he had a running touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm high on Jalen Hurts. What's your take, Matt?
He's my backup quarterback for my bye week when.
It's always fantasy league.
I know, right? His is fantasy, mine's betting. Like, you ask him a question, he's like, well, let me tell you about fantasy. And when you ask me a question, I'm like, well, let me tell you about the bet that got away, you know? That's okay. That's okay. That's how we express ourselves. What's that?
I really mean, even coming out in the draft, if the Dolphins would have took Herbert, and I cringe at even saying that,
Yeah.
at the time, I would have rather passed on Tua.
Yeah.
This is my thought, because if they would have took Herbert, my thought is Chargers should have taken Isaiah Simmons.
Okay.
And then either traded back into the first or in the second round took Jalen Hurts.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so it sounds like you're high on him too. I mean, of course, we're all glad that we got Justin Herbert, but as a
100%.
consolation prize, Jalen Hurts, yeah, he's just going to get better with time. I mean, yeah. All right, number 18, and this team has hovered around.
That China doll.
Who's that?
Carson Wentz, China doll of a quarterback.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This team has hovered around between 18 and 22. They've never left the spot. No,
I have no idea.
No idea.
No.
The Patriots, right?
Oh,
they're
come
22.
on. The Emperor. You can't get the Emperor middling.
He definitely is. I mean, to be down
man.
against.
They got the Pillsbury Doughboy as their quarterback.
Yeah, you got Pillsbury in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, dude, that guy's soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you should have seen us last week, or maybe if you heard the podcast. I couldn't take the game because I had money on it, and then I had to look at freaking Matt Jones's face. That I didn't want him on the Niners, and I felt like he was like trying to get me back.
And I warned you not to take the bet. Did you listen?
No, I didn't. But I could have bet on the Bills on Sunday night, which would have been the logical thing to do, but I didn't, just because I keep to my promise. But dude, what do you think of Steven Belichick?
Was he just like rehearsing to do like that opening ceremony or the halftime thing of like the Hawaii football team? Like I was waiting for him to just have that little.
Yeah, the little Maori, lick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like just slapping his thigh and doing like the whole like entourage thing. I mean, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, with his tongue,
With
the thing that
his
pissed
tongue,
off Milton.
Yeah. I just couldn't handle like
Hilarious.
him being interviewed. Imagine him being interviewed, Matt, with those little face ticks and Belichick's son.
Crazy.
There was no way the Patriots could win that game, dude. It would have just ruined me. Anyways, we'll move on. Number 17, the Seahawks. And they're here, but they're going to start tumbling. I mean, they have Geno Smith. Really? I didn't even know Geno Smith played football anymore.
Yeah, right?
Geno Smith.
And the defense is terrible. They had issues with Russell. Russell Wilson's out 4 weeks, so
4 weeks with what?
His tendon in that middle finger isn't healed yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't you see it when it was like turned the other way?
Oh.
Yeah. It was like Dak Prescott's foot, but picture it in a finger. Yeah. Seahawks are so bad.
almost as bad as your Niners.
Just about. Probably worse. Yeah, just about. We'll get to the Niners in a little bit. All right, number 16. We're halfway there. It's the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
What do you think, Matt, about the Bears?
The
rookie.
At least they have a future with Justin Fields.
Yeah, I agree.
When I think of Justin Fields and the Bears, I want to put him like in the same category as the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. You know, like not a superstar quite yet, but
I was talking to my buddy about it the other day when we were walking to the game at SoFi. I'm like, just think about this. The Chargers are very fortunate to go from Breeze to Rivers to Herbert.
Yes.
Think about some of these teams like the Bears.
Yeah, who have never had
Miami, Cleveland, who were in like quarterback purgatory for years.
For sure.
Yeah, we haven't had that problem with the Chargers fans.
Yeah. I wish within.
But I do like Justin Fields. It's funny. I think about when they were showing the combine and stuff, and all the negative press was coming out about Justin Fields and is he going to be able to handle as a quarterback and stuff. And my wife, who got so into fantasy last year, she has permanently left the NFL Network on the TV. 365 days out of the year, all day long. And she's watching the combine, going, "Hey, I'm getting coffee," and she's like, "Hey, come look at this." Like, they keep saying all this, talking all this trash about Justin Fields. I don't know what the problem is. I'm watching him in this combine. He looks great to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, he does. I think the only knock on him was, like, he sort of was...
held on to the ball too much.
Yeah, that a little bit, but just, not mental issues, but just, like, one of those people that they are super talented, but they're not doing the Kobe thing of, like, going to practice.
But I like the guy. So, like, for the Niners...
Yeah.
Like I know Milton was really stressing hard because all those rumors for Matt Jones were heavy for a few weeks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, dude, that almost fucking killed me.
And I'm like, dude, give me one of those other guys. Give me Trey Lance. Give me Justin Fields. I'm good with any of those guys.
Yeah, and that's how I felt too. All right, number 15. I just dropped these guys a little bit because I still think that they're in the thick of it. They lost to the Cowboys. Who doesn't lose to the Cowboys? And they lost to Jalen Hurts. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. They're not the same team without him. And then, what's his name? Sam Darnold, right? Resorted back to his sort of old ways. But when you're asking somebody that's a manager to rise above and be a star, it's not really fair to that person. So until I see Christian McCaffrey, I think he's supposed to return this week. Then we'll get a better feel of who they are. They're a completely different team with Christian McCaffrey.
Panthers.
Yeah,
right?
he runs the ball. He catches out of the backfield. He blocks. He takes the stress off of Sam Darnold.
I have him on one of my teams. However, I will say, Chuba Hubbard.
Oh yeah, Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, I love that name.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, Chuba Hubby.
Yeah.
Or what's that one
Hubba
gum
Bubba?
called?
I know, he should be sponsored by Hubba Bubba.
Yes,
Hubba Bubba.
That's
There
what
we
it
go.
was. I was thinking,
Hubba
what's
Bubba.
that one? The Hubba Bubba. Okay.
It should be sponsored by that chewing gum. Be awesome. It's called the Chubba Hubba.
The Chubba Hubba.
Yeah.
I like that,
Yeah.
dude. I think you got something
that
there.
That guy's still doing great.
Yeah. Okay, so the next...
He's not Christian McCaffrey by any means, but he is good.
Yeah.
For sure. If he's healthy.
So who's in the playoffs?
Okay, so these are the next 4 teams are playoff teams. Or at least playoff potential.
There
okay?
we go.
They could... most likely... I think these teams are going to fall back down into... What do we call it? Stuck in the middle?
Yeah, purgatory.
Yeah. Purgatory. That's what it is.
Purgatory.
All right. Number 14. Bengals. They're 3-2. They put up a good game. I mean, if it wasn't for their kicker missing, I mean, I know the Packers kicker missed 3, and I think the Bengals kicker missed 2.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's still making mistakes because he's young, but man, at times, he's so Montana-like with his soft touch and being able to read the field and just, Bengals sucks.
Yeah, and my man, who's on every one of my fantasy teams,
Jamar Chase. Right?
Yeah, he's on every one of my
Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking, like, if it worked at LSU, then it's got to work in the college. So, yeah, I mean, he's amazing. He definitely early rookie of the year on offense. I agree. They got something special there. Their defense is even ranked number 8. I mean, they held the Packers to, what, 22 points or 25, I guess, at the end. But, yeah. So, I mean, they definitely have passed the Steelers, you know. Okay. So, number 13 is my team, the 49ers. Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to fall into purgatory pretty soon. They get the bye week off. But, you know what? I got to give them credit for...
What happened to the moral victory, Milton? You're supposed to take it.
Moral,
you said you would.
I would take the moral victory, but then when my betting thing collapsed, then moral victory went out the window because there's no moral victory when you're losing betting, okay? Your whole world turns into hell. All right. So, yeah, the 49ers, they put up a good fight. I saw the highlights of that game, and there was like 4 plays. Had it gone the 49ers' way, the 49ers pull off the miracle win. I mean, there was
not a miracle. I called it.
Oh, you did call it. I mean,
I called it.
Chris,
My gut said
Chris
so.
all week. I mean, he's riding high on the Cardinals, and you know there's some other. Yeah, it's a division game too. So you never know what you're gonna.
No offense. But when I was at the game on Sunday, there was this obnoxious guy in the right in front of me, the first row, because I'm in row 3.
Yeah.
That would not shut up the whole game. He's going on and on and on about the Browns, and I'm looking at this asshole, and he's got a 49ers shirt on.
What?
What jersey did he have?
Dude. No, he just had a black T-shirt with the 49ers logo on the front of it.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
he kept
weird.
grabbing his T-shirt, like, at the top and, like, shaking it, and I'm like, listen, I don't know if you're just, like, rode the short bus your whole life or what, but did you get off on the wrong exit? Were you heading north and got off the exit too soon, or were you heading to Arizona and just, like, somehow got detoured? Because you're not even at the right game.
I think Matt just ruined his career because should this get out that he said the short bus about the special
he's
people?
he's gonna get Grudened.
Yeah. Let's make sure that this doesn't get out.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm just kidding. I use the short bus all the time.
He might have been on the clown card, you know.
Clown card.
There
Okay,
we
clown
go.
car
Okay, now
saver.
you're good.
Right.
No one likes clowns
There
anyways.
we go. Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. It's just so ingrained in us, and then like we know we shouldn't. You know, sometimes think that way, and for the most part, you know, we treat people nicely, and it's hard when you're. I mean, my dad and your dad, I'm sure were really similar. Your dad was a truck driver, and then my dad had grease underneath his fingernails, and you know, worked on cars and all that stuff. So yeah.
Well, here's the thing on that, and I know that's kind of a random term, and I will apologize. I probably shouldn't use that word. However, my uncle has special needs, and I volunteered for the Special Olympics. For years, and all those people are phenomenal.
I agree. Yeah, I have a special connection with those type of people too, where it's.
They overcome all their challenges, and they're out there just having fun and give you everything you've got.
Absolutely.
I have nothing bad to say.
I totally agree.
That's an amazing community that they melt my heart all the time. I was so honored. That was one of all the things I've done in my life. That was one of the things that like rates way up there that I was able to do. And just to see like my uncle, it didn't matter if he was in like 8th place. Just having like a ribbon or any ribbon was so exciting.
No, that's awesome. Matt saved himself. That's Matt Guiccione, though.
Yeah, it's not Gruden. He's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who he's going to? He's going to Cincinnati to do a little finger with your boy Meyer.
I know. They both... All right, let's see. Yeah, so the Niners' bad news is that Trey Lance has a sprained knee, so luckily they have the week off, and I think they play the Colts when they come back, so hopefully...
Here's my take.
Yeah.
So like you said, all week I was high on the Cardinals. But then when you said it was against the Niners, I immediately did a 180. I'm like, oh no, this isn't gonna go well for my Cardinals. I even said, you're like, what?
I gotta give it up to Chris for his gut feelings. They're rarely wrong. So I told him I'm gonna listen to him more, but I always say that, and
then you never do. I told you to listen to me.
You're gonna hold me to that. That's why I was sending bets your way, and I was like, do I have permission to do this? Does this work? You know,
I said the first one was safer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're like the first one's safer, the other one's riskier. I'm like, oh, too late. I put it in. All right.
But yeah, Matt knows my frustration.
All right. Number 11. Surprisingly, these rankings were weird because there's just so much that happened in Week 5. Are the Saints?
What?
They are 3-2.
Okay.
And they've had some nice wins. I mean, when they win, they demolish you, or they just get completely blown out or upset.
Can you explain that? from a logistical standpoint.
Well, no, I mean, I would imagine it just rides on Famous Jameis. Famous Jameis is feast or famine. Okay. I mean, he's either throwing 5 touchdowns or he's throwing 3 interceptions.
What about Taysom Hill getting that dirty hit on him? Huh?
What do you mean?
The dirty hit on Taysom Hill. The one that everyone booed.
Who got a hit on Taysom Hill?
Matt, did you tell him?
I'm missing the point.
Oh, did I see that? It was hard because I was actually at the game, so it was hard to see what was going on.
Well, Taysom Hill got hit helmet to helmet. Had to basically get carted off concussion.
Oh, really?
And the guy didn't get ejected at all.
Oh, wow.
Said, I was just going for the ball. Bullshit. You took 3 steps back.
That sounds like my soccer game on Sunday. That my kids lost 7-3. Milton would have lost his mind and been ejected multiple times. He would probably got 5 red cards.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Yeah, he took.
Huh? The ref completely swallowed his whistle. Was allowing guys to just straight kick my players and take them out of the game, and didn't even get a free kick, let alone a card.
Wow.
Damn.
This is
and trust me, I've ref games for Milton. I've been on the sidelines with Milton. I know that if Milton was in that position, all hell would have broke loose.
Dude, it did happen when I was in spring, whatever they call it. After the season they have that spring thing where sort of like a spring all-star team.
The spring season,
yeah. And so we went to go play over by Tierra Santa, I think it was. Yeah. And we were just kicking their ass 3-0, and so the other coach, my player's on the breakaway right to the goal, and then this girl comes right behind her and just takes her down, and then I'm yelling at the refs, and then the refs finally do stuff, and then at the end you had the coaches, both of them, his assistant coach looked like a thug, and me and my assistant, who isn't much, we almost got in a fight, and then one of the kid's parents, the girl's parents, just pulled me aside and said, Milton, you need to leave. I saw the rage in that guy's eyes. He's ready to stab you or kill you. And so we were never allowed to go back to that place to play, even though I wasn't the one that did anything. His girls, he was having them tackle my players because
they were crap.
That was the only way that they could. So I did. Yeah, exactly.
You understand.
I go off on the
field. My guys went for a breakaway because they couldn't stay with a couple of my guys. They would literally just grab him by the jersey and yank him back. No call.
Yeah. I mean, that drives me crazy. I mean, even people that are somewhat mild-mannered,
It got to the point that not only were the coaches yelling at the ref and at the other coach on the other side, the parents were about ready to fight with each other.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's ugly when it gets like that. I've been there, dude.
Really
I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, we're going to enter the top...
And Chris, last thing I'm going to say about that. Unfortunately, you never got to see Milton in action because it's hilarious.
Man.
Listen, because me and Milton were buddies, the commissioner was so afraid of Milton, they would always come to me and said, "Hey, can you try and put a leash on your boy a little bit?"
I'm a very emotional coach, and
boy,
yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, Lombardi.
Yeah. I brought some of that over to the softball too, which is a lot slower game, but it has its moments too. And I just remember one of the girls overthrew the ball, and I was standing over by the first base, and it came to me, and I just kicked the ball straight into the field. And that's when my assistant manager came over, and she's like, Milton, I'm gonna take over for you. And I'm like, no, I'm good. So yeah, I can get a little crazy. I mean, my wife hated. If I'm at a game, she's like, I gotta go.
Goodbye.
The parents love me, and the kids love me, but the refs and the other side, whoever hate me, and the opponents, and my wife's sort of in the middle. Yeah. Love-hate thing. All right, so top 10 right here, okay?
Yay, top 10.
All right.
We're upstairs on the second floor.
Yeah, so there's the sort of silver top 10 and then the gold top 10. So we're going to go into the silver. Number 10 is the Titans, okay?
Somehow.
I mean, they are going to be the AFC South Division winner. So, and they looked pretty good in beating up the Jags. As long as they feed the beast and their wide receivers come back, yeah, I mean... They're always going to be... They can't really go too far down because you can't put a division winner at the bottom, So
no, you can't.
That's the Titans. A frustrating team for sure. All right, number 9. I think they stayed here from last week. The Browns. You know,
they don't fall very far.
They
after
don't fall
losing to
very
the
far.
Chargers.
Yeah, I mean they've had 2 tough losses. I mean the one to the Chargers, and then the other one to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean honestly, at the first part, and we'll talk about it later when we get to the Chargers power ranking. But man, the Browns jumped on top of them, and I'm like, oh. You just always want to go back to, are we slipping back to the old Chargers, because we're just so used to it. You know, it's ingrained in us that we have to get rid of it. You know, which I call it reverse the curse. You know, like if I had a big old sign at SoFi.
You want to talk, you jinx. You ruined the Padres season. And by the way, Matt, we'll talk about all that Charger stuff and get to Chargers, okay?
Okay. All right.
Promise.
All right. So, yeah, the Browns. Okay, next up, the Rams, number 8.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah. And they had a nice bounce back against the Seahawks, but they did get totally obliterated by the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go Cards.
So if someone's like ESPN,
Cards.
why isn't the Rams number 2 in the power rankings? I'm sorry, all these other teams
are better.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7, we got to see last night, which was the Ravens. They've had some just crazy wins. I mean, from against the Chiefs and Mahomes to the doink, the 66-yard record-breaking doink to slowly suffocating the Broncos to being down 22-3.
And
come back and win, get the 2-point conversion, go to overtime, march them down the field, and have 442 yards and 4 touchdowns for a guy that prior to this season we thought
was just a runner.
He's a pretty good running back, but he ain't a quarterback. Maybe you should have tried a running back
Thoughts,
or wide
Matt?
receiver. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I agree 100%.
100%. All right. He doesn't disagree.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
Good.
All right. Number 6, the Packers. I dropped them down a little bit because they probably should have handled the Bengals a little bit better. But 3 missed field goals. Pretty bad. Yeah, had they lost,
yeah, that's pretty ugly.
I probably would have dropped them outside the top 10. But Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, there was one play that I was like, now I know why Rodgers asked the GM, could you bring back Randall Cobb? Last week he had a couple touchdowns. He had that crucial 3rd and whatever it was to get him into field goal range.
Yep.
To get that last field goal. So yeah, I mean the Packers after that first devastating loss to the Saints, they've run it 4 straight and looking good. And we'll talk on Friday about the Packers and Chicago Bears. But okay, number 5, the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah, they just wrecked through the Giants. It helped that beating the Giants because the Giants, they were all gone by the first quarter. Like,
it must be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Had they been in there, I'm not saying that the Giants would have won, but it would come down to a 1-score game. I really believe that because
the Cowboys are in the VIP room, right?
Oh yeah, they're definitely in the VIP room. They're saying why can't I get more of that than some of the other ones above them? Because they're thinking that they're deserving of that.
No, the Chargers will look down on them. It's fine.
Exactly. All right, number 4, and we could stay on this one for a while. You want to guess which one that is?
The Chargers.
I was saying Matt, but okay, that's fine. Chargers. Yes.
All right, Matt. Let us have it. What happened?
Number 4.
Number 4, baby.
It was either number 4 or number 3, but the other 3 I had to keep above them.
I do like the number 3. Number 3 is one of my numbers.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but you also like number 5. I could drop them back to number 5, which they were last week.
That's true. 3, 5, and 8 are my numbers.
We're at 4. At least you're in the Elite 4, though.
Yeah, exactly. The final 4.
Yeah, final 4.
The final 4. Final 4.
Yeah, final 4.
Final 4.
Did you think you were going to lose when you missed that extra point at 42-41? Yes or no?
No, but Andrew, I'd like to be said, damn it. Okay, I still see it. We're going to score 2 more touchdowns. We're going to win this game. So, no, I looked at when he missed it, I'm like, dude, my first thing was, are you kidding me? How the F do you not one but 2 extra points in a game like this? But I still have a ton of confidence. I was looking at them, like, they still have 3.5, 4 minutes.
Did they have all their timeouts?
And they had all their timeouts.
Oh, my God, that's a miracle. What Charger team with a couple minutes left ever has had...
No.
Brandon Staley.
So, I mean, let's just, okay, first of all, first thing I'll say about this. 1, being at every game so far this year, going on Monday and then coming back on Sunday, being there Monday for the Raiders Monday Night Football game, which was I'm not going to say it was a complete blackout, but it was. I'm going to say it was somewhere between 65-70 to 30-35.
Oh wow. Oh, the Raiders.
Like it. Yes, 100%.
Of course.
Oh, of course, it's always a home away game.
And again, there was a couple people in front of me that would not stop talking the entire time, especially in that third quarter when the Raiders made a little bit of a run.
But were they quiet when it was 21-0?
Yes, of course.
Okay. But when it was 21-14, then it was a different game.
But being very PC, just like that myopic 49ers fan was on Sunday.
Okay. I thought you were talking about me. Got
the
it.
guys that were screaming for the Raiders that kept going, same old Chargers. He's like, hey, man, I'm a Broncos fan.
What?
I'm like,
what?
I'm like, dude, if you're a Broncos fan, you are an effing idiot. The Raiders are ahead of you in the standings. If you know anything about football, you'd be hoping the Chargers beat the Raiders so that the Broncos are in first place. Dude, stop talking to me. Like, seriously.
It's weird to be fans of like both teams in a division. I never did get that.
Dude, I was about ready to tell the guy, hey, look, the exit is right behind you, which was over the ledge.
Yeah.
Like, just take it. Hey, the quickest way out of here is just step over that ledge. Thanks.
Yep.
But anyway, digressing. SoFi, I mean, this was definitely a pro-Charger. It was definitely a pro-Charger attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't. I mean, the Cleveland Browns fans did show, but it was more like 65-35.
So it was 2/3 to a third, basically.
Yeah,
that's a majority. In the house.
And the tailgating was epic. The tailgate is always epic. With the Die Hard Bolt Club, I mean, they put on a phenomenal tailgate that runs very long, and they partner up with the Bolt Pride people that Milton knows.
Yeah.
And it was pretty epic. So we ended up going in early because I had my youngest son with me. That's his first game at SoFi. And then my buddy from high school and college, he brought his boys, and we all went together. So it was pretty epic. But just the atmosphere of that game, I remember thinking to myself that this game is going back and forth. I'm like, dude, I haven't been at a game that's going back and forth in person like this since 1993, Qualcomm Stadium, Marshall Falk and San Diego State versus Ty Detmer and BYU, which ended in a 52-52 tie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
I remember that one.
Epic. Back and forth. One big play after the next. You know, Marshall Falk breaks it around the corner, you know, out of the key for a long bomb. I mean, it was all the same thing. So I knew that this game was going to be very tough because the Browns, you know, Baker Mayfield's like, he didn't get a lot of credit, and you know but I mean he's the best option that the Browns have had since Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to go back to the 80s.
That monster of Chubb and Kareem Hunt is the craziest thing in all of football.
I agree, dude. How do you have two Pro Bowlers? I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have two nice running backs, but they are not Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
No. So listen, in one of my fantasy leagues, I draft
is this going back to fantasy? Okay.
And Kareem Hunt, and I start them every week, and everybody's like, why you take it? I'm like, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you why. Those guys they're the perfect balance of what I would call favorite Chargers, thunder and lightning.
Yeah, one's going to get a couple more receptions, one's going to get a couple more yards and touchdowns, so I would do the same thing if I had both of them because they're both integral parts of the system.
At the end of the day, let's just go through these numbers real quick.
Yeah.
This is arguably going to go back like last year's game when the Chiefs and the Rams played.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago, but yeah.
Oh, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And that was the one that they were supposed to do in Mexico City.
Yes.
They had to move it
that
to
one, yeah.
I went with my friend Tony.
Yep.
Best game we ever been to in our life, and just the energy that we felt in the third quarter was palpable. It was so yeah. And they're calling the game that you guys went to the best game of the year, and I can't. I mean, maybe there's another game.
My son lost his mind. He couldn't even talk. He lost his voice.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's just go through the numbers. At the end of the game, 89 total points.
Yeah.
1,024 total yards, 52 first downs, and 12 touchdowns.
Wow.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Derwin James, I know they're going to say, there
Oh,
wasn't
he
much
had like
because
17
on.
tackles or something.
He had 17, 18 tackles.
Yeah, that's
that a
insane.
lot?
That's a lot, dude. I mean,
Oh my
if
God.
you're lucky, you can get
That's a
like
ton.
10 or 12.
So, but this is what it comes down to. This is the culture change that I keep noticing from the previous regime,
Uh-huh.
the Anthony Lynn era.
Okay.
Of doing everything by the book.
Right.
No
right.
deviations. And just piss poor clock management and all kinds of things.
What does Staley do?
Staley is like, no pun intended, but Staley's just electric, man. He's like the mad scientist.
That's exactly. He is a mad scientist.
He's like, oh, fourth down, no problem. Dude, this shows how much faith he has in Justin
Herbert.
They went for it on fourth and two.
Yeah, on their own 30.
They went for it on 4th and 7, and they went for it on 4th and 8, all first downs.
Yeah.
And one of them was on their own 30.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Usually fourth downs are reserved for you're behind or it's a trick play.
And he goes, listen, not only that, but I'm doing the math real quick. I'm going for 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Pass complete, 2-point conversion. I'm going to, so the game was plus that, and I'm sure he's like, this guy, I don't trust that guy anyway. So, and I'd have to look at so far, I think they're perfect or only a missed on one time on fourth down so far.
Yeah, I think they're 7 for 8 for the season. But yeah, he's an analytics junkie.
He's a total analytics junkie. Lombardi offense, it's literally like they took what they had rocking in New Orleans and moved it.
15 years with Breeze. 15 years. That's some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And Herbert, dude, some of those throws, like there's a throw that he made down the sideline to Slayer that was Keenan Allen that was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was.
And then just some of the play calling that they did. I mean, there was 2 plays where Mike Williams was so wide open.
Oh.
Me or Milton could have thrown that ball.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to just come up with plays that fake out that defense that much. But yeah, I mean, again, Staley has completely changed the culture. He's got everybody on that team. If you watch any of the post-game press conferences and the locker room speeches, he has them all completely bought in to this new culture.
Okay.
And they should be expecting this to happen every single week.
That's good.
And they don't look ahead. They're just like how I coach in high school. Look, man, you just got to go 1-0 every week.
Yeah.
Your focus is not ahead. It's just whatever game is on hand this week, you got to go 1-0 that week and expect great things to happen to you.
Well, what's funny is that ESPN is just getting around to maybe these aren't the same old Chargers.
Oh my God,
Matt, weren't we predicting all this on the
NFL Network and Good Morning Football?
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing. They're constantly same old Chargers. That narrative when they lost that game that they very easily could have won.
Yeah, the Cowboys game. It was the same old Chargers thing. I was like, no.
Oh yeah, here you go, same old Chargers again, same old Chargers. Which part of me is like, dude, that game, the Chargers could have won that game.
Yes, if it wasn't for the refs.
And they'd be undefeated right now.
Yeah. Oh, is there anybody out there that was predicting that Staley was gonna change the culture?
Me.
And that Justin Herbert.
You remember when we first started, when I first came on board with you guys,
yeah,
I told you when they hired Staley, there was just something different about him.
Absolutely.
And I bought into him after I listened to his first press conference.
Which is the most important press conference you can listen to. If you want to know the coach, good or bad, you listen to the press conference.
Dude, it blew me away. I mean, I bought in immediately to what his vision was for the team. Yeah.
He was this guy at work. He's always feeding me Charger stuff, and when he was telling me about they got Lombardi, and now they get to use Derwin James. I mean, I almost feel like for as much as the Sports Truth has hyped up Herbert, the Chargers, and Brandon Staley, that we might have actually not hyped it enough. Which usually the hype, you don't reach hype because it's hype.
I always rather be the underdog. I'm completely content being the underdog.
Yeah. But I don't think that's anymore. Okay, so they asked this guy on NFL Network because they said, okay, Justin Herbert, what do you think about him? This, and that. Okay, I'm going to ask you all these quarterbacks, and you tell me if you want to trade with me. He's like, Patrick Mahomes, nope. He's like, Aaron Rodgers, nope. Brady, nope. Lamar Jackson, nope. And he was right because, like, he's got no mileage on him. I was telling Chris that his throw reminds me like if somehow Peyton Manning and Montana meshed together, like the strength of Peyton Manning, but with the soft touch that he has on those short throws of Montana. I mean, but you can't even really...
Herbert's himself.
Herbert himself, Herbert, exactly. Yeah. So then I was thinking, you know what? I mean, I'm trying to compare people, but he's himself.
And that guy's athletic. His arm strength is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if he goes and runs, that kid is cat-like.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's a mobile quarterback.
In the fourth quarter, he ran. I mean, they scored 26 points in the fourth quarter.
Whew.
When has the Chargers team ever came from that?
The fourth quarter is when they melt down. Yeah, the meltdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it was amazing. And then just like the little smart plays that they did, Cook catching that ball, running up the sideline, and then Eckler not pulling a Todd Gurley and sliding to keep the clock rolling instead of going into the end zone.
Oh, right. That's funny when they took him into the end zone.
Yeah.
The Rams did that on purpose?
No,
not the Rams. The Browns did that on purpose?
Yeah, the Chargers, he just sort of ran and wanted to stop.
Okay.
And just as he's getting ready to fall down.
He ran, wanted to stop.
Yeah.
The Browns pushed
4 or 5 Browns,
the line,
they picked him up and took him in the end zone.
Yanked him in.
Why?
Yeah, they carried him like a football.
Why did they carry him into the end zone?
Because they wanted another chance.
Because they didn't want him to. He was burning the clock.
Yeah, if he was going to burn the clock, kick the chip shot.
Yeah,
and
win.
You know what? I'm sort of glad that happened because, like, with his this Sunday.
Here's what happened.
Okay.
So that wasn't a little bit of a mistake on Eckler's part.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
At the half-yard mark, he should have kneeled down, which would have definitely burned the clock.
For sure.
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
It was totally.
Oh.
But again, from a fantasy standpoint,
how did I guess?
I'm like, man, get me those points.
Yeah, give me the points. Yeah,
that's true. Good point. And you never know because
Eckler with 3 touchdowns for the week is much better than Eckler with 2 touchdowns.
God.
Dude, this Sunday there was 12 missed extra points, 12 missed field goals on one day.
Belichick is happy.
So so there was a chance that had they kicked the field goal and kneeled, they would have missed it. You would have been like, what? That's why it was important for your fantasy reasons.
I'd rather. No, because then when it got to that point, I'm like, look, I feel confident. I mean, these guys now have to go like 80 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Was it pass interference on that last play? Because a lot of people are saying it is. Matt Guiccione.
No. Like,
why not?
Bodies all over. I mean, the Charger guy was on the ground. They were all on the ground.
So it was like incidental tripping type thing, like one taking the other and not a grab?
I mean, listen, when you send 5-6 people all down into that situation, everybody is banging into everybody.
Okay, it's a crowded room. Got it.
100%.
Okay. All right.
You know what?
And then I know they also say that other play down the sideline on Mike Williams that they called pass interference to extend that drive.
Yeah.
That actually Mike Williams was pulling on that guy, but there's a still shot of the guy is completely yanking him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's always depends on like whose side you're on, and then you got to see it from a what is it?
I mean,
a neutral point of view.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially at the end of the day, man. Unless you're Aaron Rodgers heaving that thing twice in one season.
Yeah, and how many times have you seen a Hail Mary where they throw the pass interference or holding? I mean, I don't know if I've seen it in my life. I'm sure it's
just a desperation. They're just waiting for like some miracle to happen. I mean, really, that play is like.
Yeah. It has to be so obvious, like where you're taking down the person before the ball even gets there for them to call it.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yeah. So one more thing I wanted.
Kind of like 2 games ago at Valhalla, we're playing and we're up so big. I'm playing third and fourth string guys, and one guy put in a corner is so nervous that the ball gets before the ball just releases from the quarterback, and he's already tackling the receiver out of bounds. I'm like, it's not even there yet. Man.
How could you do that to my Valhalla like that, man? Come on, man.
Oh, that was a beating of epic proportions.
I know. I feel bad for my Valhalla team. We used to be good, now we're crap.
You know what the best part about that game was?
What?
So our sophomore running back that we called up to varsity week 2 was supposed to go to Valhalla.
Oh.
But he decided to transfer to West Hills. He had 3 touchdowns in that game.
Damn.
Of course he did against his former... Man, now I feel even worse. Thanks.
I know, right? So I was watching an ESPN special. It wasn't a 30 for 30, but one of those ones where, there's a nice story involved, about this coach or this player. One of those type of shows. And so what this high school coach did was he went for it on 4th down every time.
Wow.
Went for 2-point conversions. Didn't kick field goals. And just every time you get... The thing with the Chargers is that they're getting a few extra downs every game. And... yeah, in the end, I mean, one of those 4th downs aren't going to happen, but you know what? He's going to do it again and again and again. So it's just crazy. I mean, I've never seen a gambler of his proportions like.
No, they have a lot of confidence in that offense that they're like, look, we're always in 4-down territory.
Yep.
Now, I don't think Matt Guiccione's ever seen someone that goes for it on 4th down.
That's going to get us X amount of yards.
Have you ever seen a coach, college or pro, that's gone for it on 4th down as many times as he has?
No, I'm literally, this guy is just willing.
Just Staley.
He just.
Yeah. I mean, aside from that high school coach I was talking about, that was his whole game plan, that they have 4 downs to get the first down.
I want to propose to ESPN that they do a new segment called, instead of you got Moss, you got Staley.
You got what?
You got Staleyed.
Staley? Yeah. That's a good one.
Every 4th down conversion,
I know. It's just it's funny, we have our 21 listeners and ESPN has their millions, and I'm like, we're telling you what's going to happen. We're telling you the truth here. And they're still wondering, give me a couple more games and I might buy the Chargers. But I mean, I think at this point, at least the smart people at those big networks are starting to figure it out.
Yep.
So.
Well, it's fun. I mean, this is a good test this week. I mean,
yes.
Beating the Chiefs in Kansas City, huge.
Yep.
Taking down Cleveland, huge.
Totally.
Taking down the Raiders. I mean, think about it. A year ago, the Chargers won 0 division games.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0-6.
So if they can go into Baltimore and take down the Ravens in the not looking ahead, but in the bigger picture, just for the AFC.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good things to have in your pocket already.
Yeah, I mean, you're building the case for the Chargers having the playoffs come through SoFi, which was unthinkable at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because as a wild card, how are you supposed to get home field advantage? You can't, because it's the Chiefs. Duh.
Yeah.
But that 5-game or 6-game schedule, right? No,
yeah,
see, there's
Murderers
5.
Row.
Murderers Row.
Not anymore.
I mean, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Ravens.
Uno reverse card,
the
Matt.
Cowboys. I mean, man,
right?
I even had my doubts on man, if they go 3-2,
I'll be
through
happy.
that 5, I think I'll be happy. I just don't want to go 2-3 or 1-4, and they end up going 4-1. And like Matt said, that one game
they just got to stay within themselves and just keep looking at everything one game at a time.
So let's see who the Chargers have beaten.
All in.
They've beaten the Chiefs, who are number 12.
The Washington football team.
They've beaten Washington, which is 23. They've beaten the Browns.
Yep.
Which are 9.
I didn't even get to come on and tell you about that.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
The Washington football team game.
Oh, the Raiders are 21.
Going to DC for the game, for the first game of the
yeah.
season.
How'd it go?
It was epic. That was such an epic trip. The wife and I had so much fun. So, me, doing the inauguration, 7 times. I've been to D.C. umpteen times, but my wife always wanted to go. And so, the last inauguration, I'm like, honey, I'm telling you, this is not the inauguration to go to. It's way too chaotic. People are storming the Capitol. It's just better you not go. This is the militarized zone.
Yeah.
But we'll find a reason to go to D.C. and I'll show you around. And then, lo and behold, the Chargers are playing first week in D.C., so We get tickets, fly there. We spend a long weekend, go Thursday to Monday. We had such an epic time. I took her around and show her all the monuments and the sites. And I will have to say
DC's an awesome town.
Dude, those motorized scooters, I never went on them before until that trip.
Yeah.
Those things kick out. I probably spent $500 on those damn things.
Oh, damn. But it's a good way to get around the city.
No, because we were walking everywhere, and so I'm tired. Maybe we should get one of these scooters. And then we got on those, and then I was immediately addicted.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Costco, I'm like, what if I should buy one of these? Because we're cruising around all the monuments at midnight, 1 in the morning, for hours on those things.
Yeah, I got a chance to go to DC a couple years ago.
It was like being in high school again. So she's on one scooter, I'm on the other scooter. I made this epic 80s hairband playlist impromptu. I had one earbud, she had the other one, and we're just cruising around the streets, listening to all this crazy hair metal. It was epic.
How much of you want? I mean, I know you're going to the Stones concert this weekend, right? Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. How much do you wish you could trade in the Stones tickets to go to the Ravens game in Baltimore?
I thought about going to that game. The other game that I still might end up going to is I might fly to Cincinnati to go watch Herbert and Burrow battle it out.
Oh, yeah. The two number one picks or not number one picks, but first round picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're basically our number ones.
Yeah.
And the highlights, the place is going nuts. I look up on that massive infinity screen, and I'm on the screen cheering and being crazy.
Hey, tell me about the leak.
I got my 30 seconds of fame.
Oh yeah? Tell me about the leak of water.
On Monday when we were at the game, Jerry O'Connell was going through all the
I saw pictures of that. That
What?
was cool. Yeah, the guy from Stand By Me.
Yes,
other movies.
He does a spot on CBS Channel 2 in LA.
Yeah.
The whole thing on the Chargers.
And he's there every week?
Every week, yeah. He's the commentator. So he
Wow.
was cruising around to our tailgate and interviewing everybody. And so when he saw me, he's like, dude, we worked together at MTV a bunch of times.
Wow.
I haven't seen you in a minute.
Well, you know what? For the Halloween game, I want you to go
thing.
up to him in your costume and with your lovely lady in her Cleopatra costume and have them interview you then.
Yeah, did you tell? Yeah, so Chris.
Yeah.
Halloween is the Patriots game.
Oh.
So
On the 31st. Yeah.
On October 31st.
Oh.
So I'm gonna don the most epic ensemble ever in Chargers lore.
The one that's been there. And yeah. He's going to bring it back.
Thanks to Milton.
The bolt.
I'm gonna bring it back, and I'm gonna have Andrea dress up like Cleopatra, and I will be the Chargers' God of Thunder.
Exactly.
Oh,
God. It's going to be epic, dude. It's going to be epic. I'm just telling you, wow. Just be ready for it. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
You still haven't told me about the water. The leak.
Oh, the leak in Washington. You were nowhere near there, right? The leak that was pouring out shit.
No, so I had bought tickets. I had bought tickets, right? Just whatever tickets, just to go to the game.
Yeah.
And then I had a guy. We did this huge. They were dude, the Chargers fans. They traveled awesome for that game. There was more Chargers fans at that game in Washington than there were Washington football team fans.
Oh wow.
Huh.
That's surprising.
So half the stadium was empty.
Oh wow. I can see that.
Nobody in the seats.
Right.
And the other half was Chargers fans, and then the other half was Washington football team fans. It was. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I've never seen this before. I'm used to it being completely outnumbered. But so I ended up. This guy had extra tickets in the end zone.
Oh.
So I bought his tickets in the end zone. So when they scored that first time, dude, I have a picture of it. I'm standing in the end zone all over TV with my banner, with my Die Hard Bolt Club flag. Me and Andrew like all over that TV. But unbeknownst to me, during that, I guess at the other side, like in the middle section of the stadium, they had a pipe burst that was just leaking, like not even leaking. It was like
pouring,
spewing, raw sewage all over people.
And you saw it?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
See
Okay.
it till after the fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably because your seats were so good, it was nowhere near that place where where the poor people are. Yeah.
No, but it was cool because the guy that was sitting next, so the guy that I bought the tickets from had 2 other tickets. He had 4, so he sold each of them as a pair. The guy that he sold them to, that were sitting next to me, one guy was a Dallas fan,
right,
and then the other guy was a Washington football team fan. But he was hilarious. It was like being in a comedy show for like 2-3 hours, because like the stuff he was saying to everybody I was dying. And so him and this other guy, about 4 rows in front of us, they were going at it the entire time. And actually, we ended up exchanging numbers. His name's Tim Fly. He's like a big time DJ and movie producer and music producer and whatnot.
Of course.
So him and I, of course, hit it off great.
Yeah,
of course,
because that's your alley. Right up your alley.
Man, so like we've been going back and forth constantly. So like when we're at the Raider game, he's like, so after the game, he left early to go sling T-shirts and stuff as everybody was leaving.
Yeah.
So we chatted some more. Then he came over to our post-game tailgate party and did this whole Facebook Live with everybody.
Wow.
And he was talking up the Chargers and all this stuff. So then when I was at Monday Night Football, he hit me up. He's like, bro, let's do a Facebook Live right now, just impromptu. You're inside SoFi. Let's just give me a shout out. Let's just rock it. We'll do a dual Facebook Live. So this guy is hilarious. He's an awesome contact. This guy's so much fun.
Wow. It's a good story.
For sure. All right, so...
Yeah, I mean, all in all, the whole...
So let me ask you this question.
My wife loved it.
What's the one team that scares you in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl? That you don't want to play. Maybe you have some other team take them out, or I don't know.
Well, actually, I mean, if things just keep... Again, I'm gonna just answer this like any coach would. I'm just focused on one game at a time. Just go 1-0. But
once you get to the playoffs, you're in the playoffs.
If things keep going the way they are, eventually, if things hold the way they are, it's going to be an epic showdown between Josh Allen.
Okay, all right, that is the right answer.
The Bills and the Chargers. I knew it.
That's what I was wondering. Yep. I was like, because I mean, they scared me when I saw them play on Sunday nights. So like, I would imagine they should scare you.
I mean, that would be an epic game.
Yeah,
it would.
I think the only thing that they have on you guys is that they've paid their dues and they got embarrassed in the AFC Championship game. So I think that's sort of how sports works, whether it's basketball or football or baseball. Like, there's steps to this. You know, it's just hard to go from being not noticed to championship.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Unless you're Tom Brady, then you skip that whole process.
If they happen to be able to play against the Bills Mafia,
yeah,
sick.
For sure.
Oh, my God.
That'd be an epic game.
Note, so we didn't even talk about this. You guys might have talked about it. That night of Monday Night Football was that gnarly thunderstorm.
Oh, we did talk about it, dude. We said that Staley created that, like, somehow, because he's a genius. So
the people at the Chargers social media are hilarious.
Yeah.
They're like immediately sending that stuff out, like as all that was happening before the game started. They're, oh, sorry, we're just getting a little bit extra practice in before the game.
Yeah, I mean, come on, thunder and lightning with the Chargers game. Yeah. I mean, come on, no, for sure.
And so like right as I'm going into the stadium from tailgating, it started to pour.
Yeah.
And then we get in, and then there's thunder and lightning, and everything's going on, and then all of a sudden they start announcing, oh, we gotta delay the game because of lightning. I'm thinking to myself, I know this is an indoor-outdoor stadium, but it's like 85-90% covered.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't get either.
The only way that lightning would get in this thing if it came through one of the sides.
Yeah, one of the cracks there.
1 in a billion.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
yep. I just laugh at the whole idea of weather delay. That doesn't exist in Southern California. That's a Midwest, East Coast, Southern thing.
A lot of people are confused why that happened.
Yeah.
But then I told them, I said, look, just from my knowledge of of film and television, I'm almost guarantee you, without having any knowledge to the fact, that the Lightning and the Thunder, because it was a nationally televised game, and ESPN had all their production trucks plus the normal production trucks, the Storm, I guarantee you, was messing with their equipment, and they had to delay it so they could fix that.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
It does.
But
because right after they had announced that big infinity board, they had to reset it.
Oh.
So our last three, because
I'm telling you, it was a technical difficulty thing that they had. I'm almost guaranteed that's what it was.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we spent a good amount of time on the Chargers.
Yeah,
they're just.
We spent about 35 minutes. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, that's okay. They we're gonna finish up. They've exceeded expectations. Brandon Staley. I mean, like I mentioned on other podcasts, usually, Matt, you get a defensive coordinator like a Sean McDermott, or you get an offensive coordinator like Sean McVay, right? Yep. But with Staley, you get both. I mean, he's technically a defensive coordinator and has helped turn around that defense. But you can't tell me that he isn't influencing the offense, even though Lombardi is doing his thing because he played quarterback. So 100%. It's rare that you get both.
A hybrid, man.
Yeah, he's a hybrid. Yeah,
coach,
exactly. Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy.
And the fact of just going for it on fourth down, like
your own territory.
I get going on fourth down when you're on the other 50. I get going for 2-point conversions. I mean, it down, just blows my mind that he's going. And like you said, he has the ultimate confidence in him. And all the successful coaches, the Belichicks, the Bill Parcells, all those coaches, they went for it on fourth down when they had to, and they most of the time were able to convert it. So to see fourth downs being used in the first quarter of the season when there is no, and the thing that fans don't understand, or that one in the break room that's like, Staley's crazy, I don't know about him because he's going for it on fourth on his own, is like, if he had not gone down in fourth down mentality, if you take the fourth down and you strip it out and he doesn't have it, I think we lose the Chiefs game and we lose the Browns game. And we're 2-3.
Yep. 100%.
Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
See, 100%.
100%. Okay, I was worried. I was like, no, Staley would have overcome it. And I was just like, no, you're being too much of a homer. But you're not. You're not a homer.
I just sent you a picture, man. It's all about what I just sent you.
Sent me what?
Look at your text message.
Oh, I haven't, because I got the phone I'm using, so I don't want to mess with it right now. Just don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check it after. Okay.
Don't mess with it, but you'll see after.
Okay. All right. Cool. Dude, I swear, though, he looks like a 14-year-old little boy. I mean, if I was at a liquor store, I wouldn't sell him cigarettes. I'd be like, dude, you cannot buy cigarettes.
Staley's like a... What?
Oh, I got his nickname, too, because Boy Genius was used up, so I call him Child Prodigy.
Yep.
Child Prodigy.
That's what he is.
Oh,
you're right.
Hey, you gotta get through 3, 2, 1, because there's one other thing we have to touch on before we wrap this whole thing up.
About what now?
Just finish on your top 3.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, here we go.
Number 3.
All right, number 3. The Super Bowl champ Bucks. This is the game I've been waiting for, because all preseason or all off season, my podcasts, I'm like, the Bucks are going to come in here
and wreck.
They got 22 of 22 starters. They're adding people. It's Tom Brady. It's his second Super Bowl he's going for. And all 4 games, like, they either could have lost or they were up and whatever. This is the game that the Bucks, that's who I thought they were. They come out and they 5 touchdowns and they blow out the Dolphins. Not that the Dolphins are a great team, but still, it was impressive. Because I had my reservations on betting on it. I was like, I don't know. What?
No, they did what they're supposed to do.
Right. I mean, it was one of your picks, right, for the 4?
Great teams come out and they just curb stomp the other team.
It helped in the fantasy league, right?
Yeah, somehow it helped in the fantasy league, right? That game? Or no? You didn't have anybody.
He's looking through his 7.
Like, I think I had a bench player that I could have played. No, just kidding. All right.
No. Here's the thing. Well, I actually did pick up, as soon as Gronk went down, I did pick up Cameron Brate.
Yeah.
I have him. I picked up Dawson Knox also, who I played, who dominated for the Bills.
You know what was the key?
And then I picked up...
Go ahead.
And then I also picked up Schultz for Dallas. So
dude, Schultz is huge.
Yeah.
I'm like, as if...
Yeah, I picked them all up.
As if Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb, rising superstar, weren't enough with their 2 running backs. They got Schultz, I think he's like number 88 or whatever. Yeah, he scored a couple touchdowns. Yeah. The rich get richer. But, yeah, I mean, after that scare that they had in New England and then they come back, they're deserving of their 3rd spot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Number 2, Cardinals.
So the podcast is over, Matt. Goodbye. See you later. Okay, ending the session.
No, I agree with that.
I kind of have to agree with it after what happened.
Yeah, I mean, they should have handled the Niners. I mean, they're bringing in a rookie quarterback.
Number 1.
What's that?
The Bills went out there and completely smashed KC.
They showed me that right now they're the best team out there. You know, there's a couple teams above the Chargers, and I've been saying this for the last couple weeks, that there's better teams than the Chargers right now, but the best nucleus out there, which consists of the quarterback, coach, and the chemistry between them to form that trinity, there is no more powerful nucleus in the universe than Staley Herbert. And eventually they'll get to that point of being the best nucleus and the best team.
Yep.
Matt, agree or disagree?
Yeah, 100% agree.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
But right now, like right now, look, like we've been saying it for the last couple of years, KC is the king until somebody knocks them out.
Fucking KC. Dude, I'm tired of the ESPN best quarterback, and then they're like, okay, well, who's the best quarterback? Is it Herbert? Is it Kyler Murray? Is it Josh Allen? All great choices, and they're like, I still have to stay with Mahomes because this and that, and I'm just like, oh, whatever.
But anyway, I'm still happy my Cardinals are top 2.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't drop much.
Listen.
If they beat the Browns.
We can make Chris feel good.
Please.
The Cardinals are number 1 in the power rankings for the NFC.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
that's true.
5-0.
Yeah.
And the Bills are number 1 in the AFC.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Thank you, Cards. I love you.
Yeah, so right now, this is what I have. Tell me agree or disagree. Kyler Murray, MVP. Brandon Staley, Coach of the Year. Trayvon Diggs, Defensive Player of the Year. Go.
Yeah, in the way too early.
Way too early. I mean, this is like if the season
right
ended right now.
Yeah, right now.
Exactly. Yep. We're going to start the playoffs because some COVID thing happens, you know? Whatever.
That's right.
We'd be in a good spot because we'd be in first place. So we would get the AFC West.
So
yes. We're done with the power rankings.
I know we're already at like over 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, we're at 2 hours, 2 minutes.
To be expected. It's been a while since you've been back. But
it's all your fault, Milton.
Exactly. But, okay, there's no way that you and I could be on the same podcast. I can't ask you this question.
Okay.
AJ Griffin.
I'm lost.
What is Duke going to do with the injury to their 5-star rookie, AJ Griffin? How much is that going to be?
Here we go. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to listen.
I didn't even know that. I just know that it's Coach K's last year. They had an awesome, I think, number 2 recruiting class. And then I'm like, okay, my 49ers suck. And then my last year of Duke, they suck now too. And then the Gators, they lost to Kentucky. Oh, boy. I don't know.
Matt, fill me in more.
Knee injury.
What's that?
He had a knee injury.
Yeah.
He's done.
Oh. I mean, I'm not sure what you're wanting me to answer because I'm so, like, just
depressed
because I was looking forward to the Duke year, you know, the last one. Coach K maybe wins
this. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you're talking about a 6'6", 225-pound, 5-star forward.
Ugh.
Injured.
That's devastating. Is he gone for the season?
No, it was a sprained knee in practice.
Okay. All right.
And he's not using crutches anymore.
Okay.
But, I mean, you never know.
Yeah. Is there a question here, Matt? I'm confused because you're like, I don't know if we could be on the same...
I just want to know if you're ready because I just wanted to get your take on it.
Oh, no, I hadn't. I'll have to take a look at it, read up on it, and I'm just so into football season right now.
Like you, I have high expectations for this season.
Absolutely.
Just because it's Coach K. I want Coach K to go out like Peyton Manning.
Yes, exactly. Or John Elway. Or exactly.
Or John Elway. I want him to go out on a high note and just leave that legacy forever. Just everybody remembers, hey man, Coach K's last year, he's cutting down that net, hoisting up the trophy, and
I think he's going to be. To be honest, I think he's going to be focused this year. He sort of hasn't been the last couple years. I'm not sure the over responsibility of like the Olympic team and just all that stuff. He's got a lot of commitments, but yeah, I mean, as long as that guy comes back, then I thought you said he was gone for the year. I was like, oh shoot.
Nope.
Okay.
No, they haven't had to put a timetable on how long he's going to be out for.
Okay.
But that's just not how. I just want to get your take on it if you heard about it, because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, dude, this is not how I'm envisioning the start.
I know. No, I agree. So I guess I'll end it with the last couple things. For Niner fans out there, this is really what I've seen. That I never anticipated them like Super Bowl sort of contenders.
No.
But it's sort of an experimental year. Let's see how Trey Lance works. See if he's ready for next year, and then we'll. But yeah,
Cardinals said no.
Yeah, in a division that's.
Okay, here's a good question to follow that up with.
Okay.
To kind of wrap this up with these young guys. So if Garoppolo comes back, or when the Red Rocket comes back, do they switch back, or do they stay with the young guys?
Hell no. Stay with the young guys.
Definitely not with the Red Rocket because. No. And you know what? Matt Nagy. He said that he's committed to Justin Fields for the rest of the season. I think that was part of the reason that they won on top of the Raiders, just, dealing with their fiasco. But, I mean, you have to use Jimmy G.
You should see his face, Matt. He looks so pained and conflicted.
I mean, if Trey Lance is injured with a sprained knee, obviously he can't play back coming from the it's just a matter of time before Jimmy gets hurt again and Trey has to come in. So I'm hoping to see like a good 4 or 5 games in this lost season, because best case scenario we slip in as a wild card and get bounced out. But yeah,
Cardinals, baby.
I mean, I'm sort of hoping more for a higher draft pick. I just want to play teams outside the NFC West. So far, we played the Cardinals and the Seahawks, and
the Rams are coming soon.
And the Rams are coming soon.
Butt.
I know.
Yeah.
It started off. You know what? This is what derailed the 49er season. I'm going to tell you right now.
Sure, I want to hear it.
I
want to know as a Cards fan. Please, give away your secrets.
The 49ers are not a passing team.
Nope.
They use the short pass or the short pass after they've run. The run attack.
Right.
Mostert. Trey Sermon,
out.
44, Elijah.
Trey Sermon, the guy I listened to Milton. I drafted him in every one of my teams, and he has done nothing for me yet.
Yeah, I know, because they got really banged up. So I mean, I'm just saying, if Mostert was in there right now. And he didn't get injured with 3. Yes, I mean we'd
be in the playoffs.
We'd be in the playoffs, and we'd be talking about them in the top 10, and they're gonna make a nice run in the playoffs. But as soon as Mostert went out, he's sort of the head of the monster. Then it all unraveled. And then as far as I want to sort of put an end to the what we talked about, the elephant in the room in Gruden.
Yeah,
is this that. One, like you said, Matt, like, don't put stuff out there, especially if you're a public figure.
Yeah.
And 2, not that I'm protecting Gruden, but, like it says in the Bible, in that nice verse when, everyone's wanting to, throw stones at the prostitutes and the beggars and the tax collectors. And then Jesus says,
he who is without sin may cast the first stone.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that.
I'm not even religious, and I know that.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, before you get on your high horse and beat him up for all the, he did say some crappy things, I mean.
Just remember what you guys have done when you've been shooting the shit with people.
And then it just comes down to the other verse that people just put to the golden rule.
Yeah.
Like, just do unto others as you want others to do to you, man.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Just sort of keep it simple. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, well, we're glad you were able to make it on here. I mean, it's just an exciting season because you get to go to all these awesome SoFi games.
We don't.
And then for the, we're vicariously living through him. And then, dude, I'm just telling you, I just can't wait. I think that, when are you going to the concert? Is it Saturday?
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday? Okay, cool. So let's go on Saturday.
Yeah, come on, dog. Hey, listen, all those listeners out there, man. I got 4 extra tickets.
Yeah, I asked my one friend who loves concerts and who's probably been to more concerts than you, just because, he's a little older than you, and he's pretty set. and he loves concerts. So like he's like, oh yeah, I do like so I'm gonna talk to him to see if him and his lady. So I'll get back to you on that. What's that?
Talk about Lauren?
No, not Lauren. No. It's another friend of mine named Johnny, who loves football.
But I will say that going to concerts with Lauren is epic.
Yeah, Lauren's a cool dude. I mean, Lauren's awesome. He's one of my best friends.
Just call up Johnny Football.
Yeah, exactly. I'll let him know that. That's cool. That's for sure. This other friend of mine, Johnny, he's way cool too. I've gone to him
because
the.
Because I did hear a rumor, and I got to go look that I believe Def Leppard is coming to SoFi too, and last time Milton and I went to Def Leppard together, it was pretty epic.
It was pretty epic, totally. So hey,
guys,
yeah.
Listen, it was awesome.
It was
finally be back. I had no idea when I signed on for high school football that I was going to be coaching freshman, JV, and varsity teams.
Ugh.
And that's a massive commitment.
It is. But you're sort of a massive committer. I mean,
I am, but you know, it's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the JV team is 6-0.
Wow.
Our varsity team is 7-0.
Nice.
And the freshman team, they're 3-4. On the season.
But there's a future there.
But in those 4 losses, the combined total of points between all 4 losses combined is 11 points.
That's freaking amazing.
It's like Chargers.
Nice. Yeah, exactly.
Staley.
The before 3 and 4, after 7 and 0. Yeah, exactly. No, it's definitely. I mean, when you told me that you were gonna buy SoFi tickets at the beginning when we were doing our podcast, I was like, dude, you can't pick a better season to go to SoFi than this season. It's gonna blow up. Staley, Herbert, the drafts that they did. Rashad Slater's awesome.
Wait till I show you the patch I have for my jerseys that we had made for the inaugural season at SoFi. It's epic.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You're just gonna have to tell me. Yeah. So
when can you come again? Or is it just gonna be phone calls?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. But
you have to figure out, 'cause, you know, they're having me bounce all over the place. So I'm glad that this worked out. Hopefully to the listeners that you know the sound quality is good.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Again, you know, I miss everybody for sure. I think about you guys every single week.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll have to this Saturday maybe go to Gypsy Treasure and some of those other places to put the missing pieces together, and if we can make it better than what it was, because you know, and put together her costume, and it's gonna be. I'm gonna watch that game, watching for you guys the whole time, because I mean.
Listen, we all know that Cleopatra's gonna out-trump me.
No, absolutely, absolutely. The blue wig and the golden attire, and absolutely. But I'm telling you, dude. There's something about the feathers, and if it's a little windy, that, I mean, yeah, you guys are both going to get attention. You'll see. It's going to be epic. You can't have a king without his queen, right?
Yep.
That's right.
All right. Well, hey, have a good day. I hope your, what is it, your ear or whatever gets better?
Ear infection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll talk later.
All right. Cheers, bye.
Bye. And for the rest of our viewers, see you later.
Oh, are we still on?
Of course.